Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geeky Geezers. I think a "the" in front of it is good.
Well, yeah, to kind of differentiate us from any other geeky geezers, right?
Yes, the not just a Geeky Geezer. Okay, and
Right.
this is I am your host, Aged Boomer. My co-host is here, PaPa Pacelli. Pacelli.
Patchouli.
Said it again. I didn't mean to.
Patchouli.
I was going to do it straight this month. Yell at me. Yell at me.
You
Okay.
geezer, you.
Well, I can't make fun of your first name, right? So we have to find something in your name to make fun of.
It's funny you say that. My mother specifically said that she chose the name Troy because she, thought through all the different names she wanted. And she's like, okay, what are the kids going to do to mess around with it to pick on them? And she figured there's really not much you can do with Troy. So, that's why
Yeah.
she went with it.
So let me see who's here. Who's here? A few people. Auditor Dread, welcome. Good evening, Agent Troy Pacelli. I'm looking forward to hear your Geeky Geezers talk about Jurassic World Dominion. Yes, we will be talking about that. Good things to say on that. See, we're not, we got good things. Melissa Harrison Sons to 3.0, welcome. Horizon Talker, hello the chat, hello back. Daniel Heron, we were talking about Buck Rogers and a certain actress that was in it, Erin Gray. But anyway, Auditor Dread's here, and let's see. Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll get some other people, I'm sure, as the night rolls on. But welcome everybody.
Yep.
And what have you been up to lately? Oh, I just finished a Fanta. I drank the whole thing though.
I'm on a diet Dr Pepper. I'm actually most of the way through it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I got some water here too. I was at a Cracker Barrel today, and I asked for the watermelon lemonade, and even said free refills.
Nice.
And it was actually very good and much better than the Snapple watermelon lemonade. And then I asked for another watermelon lemonade, and she brought me a water because I think she didn't hear because it was so noisy in there. But I didn't feel like correcting her. I said, just drink the water.
Yeah,
Water is good for you, right? Okay. Anyway,
it is. It really is.
All right.
I mean, unless you live in Detroit. I mean,
Well, yeah. Well, you say that about a lot of things in Detroit. No
I
offense
suppose.
to anyone here from Detroit. I'm kidding, of course.
No, get out if you can, though.
Remember RoboCop? That's starting to look like the more optimistic future for
There's
Detroit.
so many movies that I grew up with that I'm going, look, these were meant to be, comical farces, not, how-to videos.
Oh, actually, it's funny. You're going to be on Daniel Heron and our stream this week. The
Beverly Hills Cop.
Soundtrack's Burton. We do Beverly Hills Cop. That starts out in Detroit, right? That's where he's from.
I think it does. Yeah,
Axel Foley is from Detroit, and you get to see the contrast between the two police.
Is the person who wants the DVD. So if you want to.
Oh yeah. Netter just pointed, and I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, but
Yes.
Netter's doing a drawing for a copy of Alita Battle Angel, on her channel, and well, she announced it on her channel last night. We just did a rewatch of it, and right now we only have one person who has said that they want that DVD. So if you are at all interested in a DVD copy of Alita Battle Angel, you might want to go over to Netter's Network and
make a comment.
Say something on that video. Yeah.
Just say,
It's Alita.
Yep.
It's Alita Battle Angel.
Yep. We do
Sec-
not stand by in the presence of evil.
The second best movie of 2019. I still put Ford versus Ferrari ahead of it.
Oh, I swear I thought you were going to say Captain Marvel. I was going to kick you in the ding-ding.
I will say this. They were both put out by the late, great 20th Century Fox. And you'll notice that the DVD, this is another reason you want to own the DVD. I believe, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the last DVD or Blu-ray that got released under the 20th Century Fox moniker. I think the rest of that, they're all being put out under Disney. I think Disney didn't even care enough to put their thing on it. They just put it under 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
But I would pick it up. That probably even comes with a free digital copy too, I think, right?
I actually don't know.
I think 20th Century Fox gave them out with the regular editions as well. So, pick it up. Go comment on our channel, definitely. Free, Chris P., don't you want a free copy of Battle Angel Alita? You could be entered into a drawing. Go over to Netter's Network, comment on the Battle Angel Alita. Wonderful commentary did last night, and you might have a chance to win Battle Angel Alita. Anyway, okay.
Yep. Hey guys, this is Owen Lister. I just got done watching The Wild Bunch, one of the best Suicide Squad movies ever made, alongside with The Dirty Dozen.
I need to watch I need to watch The Wild Bunch. I own it.
Uh-huh.
And I own movies I haven't gotten around watching. I haven't watched Papillion yet. That's the Steve McQueen movie. I've heard good things about that.
Mm-hmm.
I got Wild Bunch because I love Sam Peckinpah's Straw Dogs. Talk about a rough movie. I'm not even recommending that to everybody. It's very violent. Okay, it's unpleasantly violent. That's Dustin Hoffman moves with his English wife, what was Welsh wife, out to the Welsh countryside, and chaos ensues because the locals don't like him too much. Wales can be a scary place. That's what that movie taught me. Okay?
That is true.
Early 1970s, probably the most violent movie I ever saw. It makes Taxi Driver more violent than Taxi Driver. Okay.
Wow. So Chris P was saying, yeah, you got to love the 70s. We're going to be talking about the 70s. In fact, this is a week to talk about the 70s because I was just telling Aged Boomer while we were in the green room, what are you doing? What does the week look like? And I am already preparing my songs for karaoke night over on the Latino Slant. It's going to be all 70s. And I got to pick out my 70s songs for Friday night. So make sure you're subscribed to the Latino Slant if you want to see me, get a little silly and sing a little bit off key, and you can laugh at me.
What about? Okay, there are a lot of good songs. There's how about Parliament? Parliament.
I have no idea what that is.
They're a funk band. They did there's a Bring Down the House. Hold on.
I don't know that.
Bring on the Funk. Never mind. Okay. I'm out of it tonight. Anyway, Heat Wave, Groove Train. Come on. No?
You're saying a bunch of songs I've never even heard.
Yeah, that's because you're not used to funk. Is that what it is?
I guess not a lot of.
You're more of a 70s rock. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to come
more
on
70s rock, pop, even country a little bit. I've got I've got my finger hovering over "Devil Went Down to Georgia."
That's a good one.
I know.
That's
thinking
a really
about
good
it.
one.
I'm thinking about
that's
it.
That's what Southern rock. Is that what that's called?
It's country. Yeah, it's
country
Charlie
rock.
Daniels.
Yeah, country. I would check out Latino Slants Karaoke Night. Like to get to hear Troy belt out the
last 2 weeks I've been doing songs. Yeah.
He did Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, did I do okay on that one? Was it okay?
No, I thought you sounded great. Yeah.
Okay.
Aged Boomer, Black Sabbath's Paranoid is a great 70s song. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Go over to Latino Slant, okay? Become a member, $5 a month. Go over there, become a member, and then you can sing those songs on Friday nights and show me how it's done.
Yeah, he does have karaoke night. I may have to do that one of these weeks. We'll see.
Yeah.
I used to do karaoke when we would do nights out. I did Whip It once. The Devo song.
Yeah, I did that once. That's one of those ones it's almost obligatory. If you're too drunk to do anything that's, like you got to keep in key, you could do Whip It. That's fine.
You know what isn't? Oingo Boingo's Weird Science.
Weird Science. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know that one. Sure.
That goes on forever, that song.
Well, but then again, Thomas Dolby. She blinded me with science.
And then there was,
But that's all 80s. That's all 80s. That was last week. I did my 80s song for the week.
Yeah, and then there's the Doors. I don't know I think the Doors messed me up one week. I think I tried doing the Doors and it messed me up. Like I did the Doors song wrong. Anyway, what are we talking about here? We're talking about the 70s.
Yeah.
Think about the 70s. We think about
women. Beautiful women.
The good old days. And the good old days, right?
Well, what made the good old days so good?
the beautiful women, and we think of one beautiful woman in particular from the 70s.
The Bionic Woman. No, I'm sorry.
Yes, but also Linda Carter.
Isis. Oh, okay.
Linda Carter, Wonder Woman.
Absolutely. Did you watch Wonder Woman? In
I
the
did
70s?
not, and I know this is going to be weird good old days since I will be at Q&A, but I did watch Wonder Woman 84 last night, so I was thinking we could do good old days and maybe not so
So
good
maybe
new
I need
days.
to educate you about better Wonder Woman, and then
Okay.
you can tell me about what happened in 84.
Okay, do you want to do that, or you want? Yeah, we can do that first. You want to do the good Wonder Woman? What was so great about the Wonder Woman TV show? I think I caught one episode once that had John Saxon as a German putting on a bad German
Yes!
accent. As
Yes! I believe that
Oh.
one was called The Feminine Mystique. I think that's the one where he goes to Paradise Island and tries to force the women there to mine the material that they made the bracelets from, because he was going to use it for the war effort. So, but that's an excellent intro, because that first season, okay, and this was one of those shows that it was the same thing with the $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman, where the show moved from one network to another. It started out on ABC, and when ABC did it, the show was set during World War II. So they went with the traditional origin for Wonder Woman, World War II, Steve Trevor, that whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole season was this period piece taking place during World War II, which, I mean, as a kid, I thought it was great. Looking back on it, I realize how anachronistic some of it was. They weren't always very authentic, but they did a decent job, and it was clear they were trying to draw inspiration from the comics. But yeah, that was a great show, and even the style of her costume, very much the kind of costume she wore in the comics. When it moved over to NBC the following season, for the following 2 seasons, I should
Interesting.
say.
So Twitch channels, networks. Okay.
Exactly. They decided that what they wanted to do was, well, they didn't want to keep, doing, trying to find old cars and, the uniforms and, all these stories set in World War II. It was just a lot easier to update her. So what they did was they did a time jump, and they said that she left and came back, after a generation. She comes back in the 70s, so it was contemporary. And instead of being, the secretary to, the general or whatever, now she's working for the IADC, a spy organization for the U.S. government. Still with Lyle Wagner as what's his name?
Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor, but Steve Trevor Jr. He's like the son or the grandson,
Funny.
And,
Okay.
And that's how they and she's like, wow, he looks so much like him. And, it's a little tongue in cheek because it's the same actor. Everybody gets the gag.
Right. Yeah.
And they were able to continue on from there. What they didn't do, which would have made it awkward, was there was no romance between them. There was a flirtation at a romance in World War II. But then, this is the grandson. That's no. So that never actually comes up. But yeah, I mean, great show. I loved it. It was of its time. It was pretty 70s, You got your episodes where you had Wonder Woman on a motorcycle and Wonder Woman on roller skates and, whatever. Different outfit for when she went swimming and stuff. But, it was still pretty good. I mean, it wasn't any goofier than some of the stuff we got in the comic books in the 70s, And again, they didn't go with the it usually wasn't the there weren't any like supervillains from the comics or anything like that. But they always did come up with, if not like the regular, German soldier, German, war plan that she was fighting, there would be someone who had some kind of power, usually technologically based, or back in the 70s, they believed that, ESP and psychic powers everyone was going to have. So, there was stuff. There's actually a really good one, playing off the fact that, she had been there in World War II and now it was present day. So she runs into someone she had met in Japan during the war. She had actually rescued two two Japanese boys, got them across a minefield. And during the war, the two boys got separated, and the younger of the two misunderstood what happened in that time, and he blamed Wonder Woman for the death of his brother. He said she was an agent of the United States. She was the enemy. She killed my brother.
I want revenge.
Exactly. And so he's working with scientists to develop his psychokinetic abilities, and he's trying to force her to walk across a minefield. And she's her will against his will, and just when she's just about to step on the mine, she's able to get the machine to freak out, and she comes and she explains to him, look, it's not what you think. I didn't kill your brother. And she says, in fact, and then of course the big reveal, the brother's still alive. They're reunited. He's so sorry. But it was a great kind of throwback story. Like she was here during World War II and there was consequences, to something that she did back then. And, they didn't do a lot of those kinds of stories back in the 70s. Nope. They would totally forget, and they'd just make up whatever the news story was they wanted to do. But
I like Horizon Talkers away. I'm pretty sure the Japanese never laid any mines on the home islands. Well, that's just the history you didn't know about, okay?
Yeah, I don't really remember the details. It might have been because they were all over those islands in the Pacific. It may not have actually been on Japan. It might have been one of the Philippine Islands, probably.
Troy Pacelli, Wonder Woman on a motorcycle. I can see that, but Wonder Woman on roller skates, that's just too silly.
That was the 70s. There was always somebody doing something on roller skates.
I can see Wonder Woman on roller skates.
It wasn't really that. Well, first, it was the exact same outfit. She was wearing the helmet. She was wearing the same jumpsuit. The only difference was she had knee pads and elbow pads. And it was a situation where these guys are getting away, and she should have been able to run fast enough to catch up to them, but she does her pirouette. She has the roller skates, and she takes off after them because, wheels. Yeah,
no, cool though. I have to check out Wonder Woman one of these days. I have seen it in pieces. My closest I ever got to watching Wonder Woman was when she would be on Justice League, the cartoon show Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
And there was my favorite episode of Justice League was this episode called Maid of Honor,
mm-hmm.
where she runs into a guy who was basically, they did an episode where they were in World War II and there was this villain called Vandal Savage leading the Germans, right? And then it's in modern day, they fixed that and they stop him. I think John Stewart Green Lantern sent him into the ocean, like on a ship, and
but he was immortal, right?
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: she sees him and says, "Oh, that was my grandfather. He was a very evil man, and like he's going to be marrying the Princess of Kasni." And I'm thinking, there's something wrong about this guy, even though I didn't know exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh no, it's him. It's him. Yeah. He's still alive, and he would have been a perfect villain for Wonder Woman. Like he would be a great arch nemesis.
Well, in the comics, he was
because he's a big enough villain to be to be an arch nemesis to a major.
He was one of those. He was one of those characters that started out in World War II, and he was immortal, and his origin was like he was like a Cro-Magnon who was exposed to some sort of radioactive something.
Yeah, they did that on the cartoon too. Yeah,
and he was just immortal for all those years, and that in and of itself is a superpower, right? So.
It probably messed with his head being alive so long too. I think, yeah.
Well, they certainly do that whole lose your humanity, build up your power, yeah. And so he ran afoul of the Justice League all the time. Superman, Wonder Woman, all of them. He was one of those like recurring character that wasn't for one hero in particular.
Didn't I say Vandal Savage or did I say Doc Savage?
No. I thought you said Vandal Savage.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, what was I going to say?
Yeah, Doc Savage is altogether different.
But I am going to say Linda Carter did make a cameo in the post-credit sequence of Wonder Woman 84, which I watched last night, which I got out from the public library because I didn't have to pay money for it. But not that I would attack you if you did.
2 hours of your life you can't get back?
No, it wasn't 2 hours of my life I could never get back. 2.5 hours of my life I'll never get back.
That's even worse.
There is no reason why that movie had to be 2.5 hours long. I don't understand. Stop trying to turn everything into an epic. That story is not an epic story. Do you have any questions about it, or should I just go and give the synopsis?
Yeah, why
Okay.
why did they have to turn Wonder Woman into a sexual predator? That's what I want to know. Taking advantage
Well,
of a guy's
that
body
okay.
like that.
I am going to say
When
this.
he has no agency.
Some
to
of the
choose.
criticisms, like they don't show them. Actually, they like show the aftermath of them getting up in the morning. And
You know, I don't care that they don't show it. I mean, I grew up in an era where they never showed it, but you knew when they had. You know?
Okay, listen, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. There's a lot in that movie that doesn't make any sense. I know this is old hat because everybody was talking about this 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It's okay. So, I am going to say this: the one scene that they said would have been offensive to Muslims, where Steve Trevor takes the object.
Yeah.
He just takes it out of the car as it's about to crash, and I don't see what he does with it after. I'm not saying that there wasn't offensive, perhaps in a previous cut that aired. So it's possible there was something in there before. I don't know because I'm watching the Blu-ray that came out since then. So
Right.
it's possible there.
And
could
you
have
know
been
how
something
Disney is.
offensive.
They oftentimes change things.
Oh yeah. So maybe they heard and they said we got to change this up. Just have them grab it.
Maybe.
So I don't know what Steve Trevor did. Maybe he was doing it because he knew it was a sacred symbol. He didn't want to crash the car. I don't know why he was. I don't know.
But
They
you know,
don't explain
Kamran
it.
Pasha said they never even had to have that thing there. They
No,
never
they
should have
didn't.
even touched
They
it.
didn't. They shouldn't have gone there. Yeah. Okay. What's the plot?
But apparently it's perfectly okay to offend Muslims now. So
no, we should stop attacking people's religions.
you should stop attacking people. Period. Regardless of whether it's because of their gender or their religion or their political ideology or anything. It's like, can we just get past all this stuff? We live in an era where people seem to want to make sure that we point out the differences and we continue to keep the hate alive.
Yes, and this is a Warner Brothers movie. If I said Disney, I don't know. I'm discombobulated.
Good point.
Okay.
Good
Warner
point.
Brothers movie, not Disney. Warner is its own animal.
Yeah,
I know.
Disney's got their own problems. That
For
we'll
a
get
while,
into
though,
later.
for a while, I was trying to cut Disney a little bit of slack because I thought maybe they'll be on the mend. But then we had the whole thing a few months back. But anyway, Warner Brothers has been my real target in a lot of these streams. They're the ones I'm foaming at the mouth over. Let's explain the plot. Okay, what were things people criticized originally when this movie came out? They said they didn't like the two intros. You have basically the intro where it's her on Paradise Island as a child, looks like she's competing in the Olympic Games or whatever the Amazons were doing, right? And looks like she takes a shortcut, and they say, "Oh, you were cheating. You're not going to win this way." Blah blah. Okay, and then they do the thing with her fighting off the criminals in the shopping mall. I watched both. I am going to say it. I think the director wanted the Paradise Island one, and the studio wanted the stopping the robbers, right?
Yep.
And
And
so
so
she
they
put
decided
both
to
of them
do
in it.
both.
I
And it's
think-
like, you didn't need the Paradise Island thing because you already saw the. And her whole argument was, well, we don't want people to be confused about her origin.
Okay.
And it's like, it's a sequel. It's a number 2. If you didn't see the first one, then go see the first one. Because you're watching it on a streaming service anyway. All you got to do is change, cue it up and watch it.
Anyway.
And then watch the second one.
Anyway, I am going to say this. Out of the two scenes, the Paradise Island scene was better executed watch-wise. I thought the mall scene was just dumb. Of course, it could be the director didn't even want to do that scene to begin with, so that could be why. Okay.
I also heard that there wasn't enough 80s in it to make it worth being Wonder Woman 84.
There was a lot of bad mustaches and some bad stylings, but yeah, there wasn't anything 80s in there. Also, she keeps doing this stuff wherever she's on, like she'll like rescue a kid and go, shh, like don't tell anybody you saw me, because they have to keep the continuity going that, oh, Wonder Woman hasn't been seen since World War I. For Justice League movies, so they have to keep that stupid continuity going. Okay, what else is Pedro Pascal plays Maxwell Lord, and there's
Did
a
she
wishing.
snap his neck at all?
No,
Did she stop him by killing him? Because that's what
No.
they did in the comics. So I figured maybe
no, that's not what she does. In fact, they kind of make him a little sympathetic toward the end. it's funny, they sort of give him a redeeming thing. Okay, I admit I did something wrong or something, and it's this whole thing. Anyway, he gets the wishing stone, and then he wishes on the wishing stone that he can become the wishing stone, and then he can grant everybody's wishes, and then he gets something from them in return, their most precious thing, and then like the whole world starts falling apart, and Wonder Woman and Steve have to go steal a jet, and then Wonder Woman makes it invisible with
that
her
somehow
invisibility
makes
powers.
it halfway around the world when it
then-
wouldn't have made it a third
and then
of the
she
way
makes
there.
it invisible with her invisibility powers.
Oh, God.
And then there's all bad consequences to all the wishes, and it goes on forever. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me kind of like the Richard Lester era Superman movies, or even like Superman 4, Quest for Peace. How, except that had a much bigger budget, but kind of
like it had a good idea, but not very
like
well
they're
executed.
Good ideas, but not executed. That's what it was. Like I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Okay.
Yeah, I have no problems with it. It does sound like the kind of movie I'm probably going to end up having to watch, and we'll do a rewatch of it on my channel one night, and fixing Wonder Woman for DC, because I still feel like she should have had her first movie being World War II. The second one would have been just fine to be 1984.
Well, you know what I thought could have been interesting if they had her do World War One, but then have her come back for World War II. Like she gets involved in that as well. Do you understand? That might have been interesting. I don't know. Never mind. Okay.
Never should have been in World War One in the first place.
Okay, but they were trying to differentiate it from Big Captain America. They said
it's their own frickin' fault for not getting to market sooner.
Okay,
and that's part of my fix. We get it into the theaters long before Captain America ever hits.
Okay,
so
then
that solves that.
Then they had a cheetah shows up at the end because magic.
Right.
Magic. She wishes to become an apex.
See, and that's the other thing too. I saw what her origin was, and her origins plural, because she's been rebooted a couple times in the comics, are all far more interesting than she wished on a stone and became. That's stupid.
Yeah, Zack Snyder didn't direct this one. Troy Pacelli, no neck snapping. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, no, nobody liked it when they did it in the comics, but I was just poking
here's the deal. I will say this. I did think it was interesting that you have Maxwell Lord, and I guess he's sort of the villain, but maybe he's just a guy that just was tired of being a loser, and then he finally but he doesn't want to lose his son at the end, and he realized he made a mistake. I kind of like that it could be like a redeemable. Your villain is kind of redeemable. That's kind of interesting.
That's fine, but this whole magic wishing stone thing is about the stupidest story you could possibly come up with. I mean, that is like grade school write a superhero story. That's like 1960s, 1970s Silver Age, Jimmy Olsen finds a stone that grants wishes and turns him into a giant turtle or something. I mean, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Maxwell Lord actually was a very interesting character in the comics, much more nuanced. And he just happened to have his own natural ability to influence people. Kind of not quite, Purple Man from Jessica Jones, but kind of like that. And what could be better for, a business mogul, right? He's a multi-billionaire because all of his business deals always work out perfectly for him. He's the best negotiator in the world. Why? Because he just says, sign right here. And they do it.
Okay. Interesting.
And he could be, and they played him both ways. He for a while he was the sponsor for the Justice League. He's the one that started the Justice League Initiative, the Justice League International. He was directly involved in the formation of the Suicide Squad. Yeah, it was some very interesting stuff. You start digging into that kind of lore. That's how you build a good cinematic universe.
Oh, I would love a Justice League International movie. That would be incredible.
And you don't even have to. This would be the perfect time to do it, because you get rid of Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, and you start bringing in Booster Gold and what's his name, Guy Gardner, and basically it's like the second stringers, right? Because those people know their science, I'm sure.
And yeah, remember how they make Maxwell Lord look like Trump? Yeah, that won't age well. Yeah, I think they did, but again, I don't know if we're supposed to be reading that into it because he didn't really act. The guy wasn't. I don't think the guy was doing a Trump imitation. But yeah, I mean, he did kind of. I don't know with the big hair. I don't know. It's just,
and again, it was another one of those. I don't know what the hell is wrong with them and their marketing department, but they're the ones that put that out there saying, yeah, he's going to be like a Trump stand-in. We're making Trump the bad guy. That gets everybody pissed off in social media about it. And then it's a big nothing burger when it actually gets to screen, right? There's always these virtue signal-y things that they say about a movie, and then it never really happens, but you've already put people off of it so much that you've literally had the exact opposite effect of what marketing is supposed to do. Marketing is supposed to get people to want to go to see the movie, not make a whole segment of your audience say, F you, I'm not going.
yes, well, they didn't know. I don't think they knew how to market this thing. You know what the sad thing is? I would have liked to have known how this movie could have done and it had it just a normal summer box office release. I'll never know. We'll never know that now. I want to know if people, would this have been a big hit or would it have been a flop? I don't know. I think here's the trouble. You have a great star in the role of Wonder Woman. I mean, she is a good fit. A great fit, but just everything else, just and 2.5 hours. Stop making movies this long. I am going to say this: a mediocre movie can be better if it's shorter, and it gets worse if it's longer. I think that's what I'm going to say. Like if they tightened it up a little bit.
If you make it more than 2 hours, there better be a reason for it. It better be epic. It better be Endgame or something like that. If it's not, make it an hour and a half and make it feel like an extended TV episode.
Yeah. Unless the rest of work in the morning, but thank you for stopping by. We'll see you later.
Take it easy, buddy. Thanks for being here.
All right. Anything else to say on the subject?
No, I really recommend if you bothered to see either or both of those Gal Gadot films, check out the 3 seasons of Linda Carter. It was definitely worth it.
Yeah. Good evening, Leia Plus Size. Okay, we're going to get to our first story of the night. Hollywood update.
Yep.
Paramount Plus is adding more than 1,000 movies this week. 1,000 movies?
Woo! What? That's so many movies.
That's like that's like 2,000 hours I'll never get back.
Right.
2,000 and
so are we talking about 1,000 good movies or 1,000 crap movies?
I was going to say 2002 if I watched Titanic.
Yeah, right.
Okay. What was it? And
a half hour of that is Leonardo DiCaprio drowning, right?
No. That's like 30 seconds, please. He's the guy. No. If it was Rose, it'd be a half hour.
I'm sorry. There's just not enough room for you up on this plank. No, get off. Goodbye. You gotta die now.
They did a MythBusters on.
Yeah, I know.
They were like,
yeah, there was totally enough room. She just said "F you." I can't go back with a lower class boyfriend. You got to die now. Now that we shacked up, it's time for you to die.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that other guy, but I don't like, I can't be with you either,
Right.
All right. Anyways, are we excited? Paramount Plus is busting out the popcorn. The Viacom CBS streamer is stuffing more than 1,000 movies into the service this week as it fights for ground in the streaming wars.
So I will admit that this article got me. I looked at this and I said, okay, well, here we go. They're finally acknowledging that if you want to have a successful streaming service, you got to dump content into it. But then I realized, 1,000 movies out of your whole library, that's not that much, really. So, and are they even good movies? Are they even worthwhile movies?
I'm going to read some of them at the end, but I'm just going to read. Apparently, one is a new batch of flicks, including Infinite, Paramount sci-fi thriller starring Mark Wahlberg and Chiwetel
somebody I don't know.
Ejiofor, okay, and directed by Antoine Fuqua. I like that last name, Fuqua, which will be exclusively debuted.
Sounds like a nice way of saying "F you."
I've heard him before. What else has he done? Did he do The Fifth Element? Was that him? Or was it somebody else? Okay. Which will exclusively.
I don't know these movie people the way you and Birdman do. You guys are the intellectuals.
I know
on
that
stuff.
name. I'm just trying to fit it to a title. Anyway, but
I just know Farquaad from the Shrek movies.
they're also going to add the. Also going to add the kids flick Paw Patrol the movie, same date at theaters.
Oh, they didn't ban that one because there's a police officer dog in there?
You know, they were getting into an argument about that with what the creators are supposed to do about Paw Patrol. Remember that? I think they kept it the same, but still.
They did.
A Quiet Place 2 also, Errol. I want to check that out. I did enjoy the first one. Okay.
I heard it did really well.
Yeah, so and $4.99 a month with ads and $5.99 a month without. Wait a minute, what's this? Starting unlike predecessor CBS Access with ads at $5.99 a month, which is being discontinued. The Paramount Plus package does not provide access to local CBS stations. Oh, so I can't watch my local CBS News. Boo. Okay. Anyway,
So this is basically
yeah,
what this comes down to is it really is the same thing that I've been saying all along. It has to be value added for me to be willing to buy into this thing.
Can I now tell you what this value added is?
Oh,
okay.
yeah, tell me.
Here's some of the movies.
Sell me on it now,
okay.
Boomer.
You like the action adventure movies?
Sure I do, sure.
We have Terminator Dark Fate.
Fuck that.
Okay.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry, but there just comes a point where I can't hold off on the swears.
I'm
That's
trying to
just
think of
no.
which is the worst Terminator movie, that or Genesis.
No,
both
Genesis,
pretty
at
bad.
least I could have retconned in my mind. If you eliminated that whole, stabbing him in the heart and the dumb, cyborg character, I could kind of see like we were kind of starting to get to the future war that we were all hoping for. But no, Dark Fate or whatever it was called.
No. I think you're confusing Genesis with Terminator Salvation.
Oh, maybe you're right.
See, Terminator Salvation was okay. I wish it had been better.
Oh, Genesis was the one with
Amelia Clark.
We'll talk more about her later. Okay. But no, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
I don't like it now. It
was definitely better than Dark Fate.
We have John Carter being the villain in that movie, and now we have John Carter getting killed at the beginning of this other movie. I feel bad for Mackenzie Davis. I didn't think she was necessarily bad in that movie. But anyway, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which I'm shocked is not on there already. This is Paramount Plus. I thought that was going to be a given. Red Dawn, I don't know which one that is.
I was just going to say I don't care if it's not the original.
Skyfall, these are all movies I've seen. The Avengers, Gemini Man, that was with where Will Smith fights himself, right? The clone
I think so,
thing.
yeah.
Okay. So that's fairly new. The Rhythm Section, not sure what that is.
It's a drum movie.
Then why is it another action adventure?
I don't know.
Okay. Comedies, Like a Boss, The Hustle, Valley Girl. Is that the old Valley Girl?
I hope so.
Okay.
If there was a remake, I don't even want to know about it. So that would be the one with Nick Cage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one was pretty good, actually. Little Hours, The Dictator, I Love You Man, Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa. Do not watch Bad Grandpa.
Okay.
Do not watch Bad Grandpa. De Niro was in that.
I was going to say I never had any interest in it. I don't even know what that is.
Do not watch it. I'm warning you now. Tropic Thunder. I did enjoy that. I'm surprised they put that on.
Are you still allowed to see that movie?
That's what I'm wondering. That movie gets a lot of hate. Okay.
I bet it's got a trigger warning at the beginning or something, though.
Probably. Oh, you know what? After the stream, I'll find out for you. Okay. All right. No Strings Attached. Hello, my name is Doris. The School of Rock. School of Rock is pretty good. That's with Jack Black. Remember the rock? He's in a rock band, but he's not making it, so he becomes a substitute teacher.
Do you realize that just about every movie that you've mentioned, that I knew and would want to see, I either already own or I could get them in the $2 bin over at Menards.
All right. I'm just going to read through these fast, but you may interrupt if you see something you like.
Yeah.
Critically acclaimed movies: Rocket Man, Judy, Florence Foster Jenkins, The Wolf of Wall Street, Revolutionary Road, 71, The Soloist, The Birdcage, The Full Monty, and Little Women. Kids and Family: Dora and the Lost City of Gold. I just remember we were talking about that. Oh, she's 18. Okay, that's fine. Remember that. Never mind. We're moving on. Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog. The Addams Family.
Okay.
Wonder Park. The Adventures of Tintin, Charlotte's Web. Horror. Body Cam. Saint Maud. Crawl. Child's Play. Gretel and Hansel. Pet Cemetery. The Prodigy. The Haunting. Paranormal Activity 3 and 4. Arachnophobia. And this is the last one bugged me because I'm like, arachnophobia.
The last one bugged you. I get
funny,
it.
Funny.
I see what
funny,
you did
funny,
there.
Funny. Okay, no. Arachnophobia. The issue I have with arachnophobia was that's a Touchstone movie, isn't it? Wouldn't Disney own that one? Shouldn't that be on either Disney Plus or Hulu? Why is it on Paramount Plus? Unless it was a joint production. When I got the DVD of it, I got it through the Disney the Disney bonus points. You get free stuff if you save enough of them, and I got Arachnophobia on Blu-ray free. Okay, and maybe they were co-producers. I don't know. Okay, and also here's some original series. These interest you? Okay. There's a revival of iCarly. I know you're a big fan of that back in the day on Nickelodeon.
I've heard of it.
Evil. Evil's a very good show on CBS. Now it's going to be a Paramount Plus exclusive. Interesting. Okay. That's about it's basically like The Conjuring, the series.
I was going to say all I know of it is that Big Al watches it. That's the only thing. I know.
It's got the guy from Luke Cage in it. You know who I'm talking about?
I like him.
He's like a priest in training, and he's trying to debunk miracles or exorcisms, see if they're real or not. And it's creepy show. I'll say that. It's the closest I have to a modern X-Files since they got rid of the X-Files. But RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. Okay, you don't like that? We have RuPaul's
Sashay Away.
We have RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked.
Oh God!
We have.
You can't make this shit up. I swear. The fuck.
Okay. We have The Good Fight, Behind the Music, and Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me get on that right away.
Okay, what's the chat saying? I was too busy reading. Okay.
They're picking on you because you got one of the movies wrong or some stuff like that.
Oh, let's see. Did I seriously have to double check one's age? Okay, here's what you're thinking of, Wolf 10. A while back, I think Al was talking about Big Al was talking about the Dora Explorer movie, and he was saying I don't know if other people were saying they thought the girl playing Dora was rather attractive, but then how old is Dora supposed to be in the old cartoon show, right?
Yeah,
you understand? And it's okay, oh no, they cast an older actress. She's 18 and over. Do you understand? But it was one of these weird things where you have this adult woman playing
what had always been a child.
A child, so it's a little weird. Okay, so never mind. Yeah. Let's not open up that can of worms, which I already did, and they're spilling all over me. Anyway, okay. Paramount Plus, though, we excited, huh?
Yeah, no.
Well,
yeah. Again, this is we've talked about this before. If you want to corner the market, if you want to be the leader in digital streaming service, and you want the most people you can get subscribing to you, you must, and I mean must, put everything you've got on it. There is no reason Paramount Plus shouldn't have every movie they have access to.
Yes.
All of Star Trek, all of
it's all on there.
Their TV shows, all of it.
All of Star Trek, I believe, is on there. I haven't checked for the animated series, but I think everything else is on there. I am going to say this. I had a theory, too. I was talking about this with you before we started the stream. I am wondering if we're going to be getting rotating catalogs on these streaming services. Like, we get 1,000 movies this month or this for the next 6 months, and what if they get removed and then Paramount goes into the catalog, 1,000 different movies on there to entice you to keep up the subscription after you watch everything you previously have? Are they going to want to put everything they own on there at once, or is it going to be like how on Netflix they used to switch out movies all the time? Because, of course, they were under, I think, contracts, right? So I understood with Netflix, but I wonder now if this is going to be like an artificial model where, like say on Disney Plus, if you want to watch Aladdin, you better watch it in the month of June because it's going to disappear, and then you're going to get Little Mermaid in July or something like that. Do you understand? I don't know.
But that hasn't really worked very well for Disney, even historically. I mean, I've actually read business commentaries about their whole vault thing and how it's been just a nightmare of marketing and just a world of suck that nobody likes, and it really has not worked out for them very well at all.
Yes. Okay.
So
No, it has not. Okay, but we'll see how this plays out if they just keep adding movies on there over time and they just keep building the library rather than taking stuff away. I don't know. We'll see. So you're not excited? Okay.
no, not
Evil's
even,
an exclusive
not even a
because
little bit.
it's the best show on CBS, and they said we're going to make it an exclusive for Paramount Plus. Plus, it is a rather creepy series.
What is?
Evil. I think it was the best show they had on
yeah.
CBS, and it really is a creepy show. Let me see though. That's a them problem. Sometimes I think I'm the normal one around, and I'm a flippin' werewolf. Okay. Amelia. Well, speaking of weird, Amelia Clark's
here we go.
debut comic book follows a single mom whose secret weapon is her period. I sent this story to you, and you're like, "This is a nothing burger." I remember you saying that. Okay.
It really is.
Well,
a lot of people are talking
nothing
about it, and honestly, I think the only reason anybody's talking about it is specifically because, it's bombastic. And that's the only reason that this thing even exists, is to get people talking about it like this.
Yeah, in fact, I highly recommend if you guys get a chance to check out the Young Ripa has a video on this, which is very good, actually. Okay,
Yeah.
but I'll read a little bit from this article. This is a Variety article, so we know it's legit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a real publication. As a kid in London, Amelia Clark got a distinct vibe from her local comic book shop, No Girls Allowed. Now, I don't think the shop was called No Girls Allowed comic shop, but okay. The Emmy nominee and lead of the HBO pop culture juggernaut Game of Thrones was therefore doomed to spend her adolescence reading hand-me-down comics from her older brother and meeting Cape Crusaders on the big screen, she said. Okay. I read a lot of fantasy novels full of rich worlds as a child. Lord of the Rings, there was always the place in my imagination which would gravitate toward. Later on, when I went to Comic-Con for the first time at 22 with Game of Thrones, I was amazed at what I saw. Almost entirely men. Later, as tides in the industry and at Me Too emerged, I began to look at the community through those eyes, and it was arresting, she said. Clark started dreaming about what a comic book might look like from her perspective, a notion that quickly gained steam. She recruited an all-female creative team and made a comic featuring what is undoubtedly one of the most progressive female heroes in the genre. Mom, M-O-M, Mother of Madness, will publish in July from Image Comics, co-written by Clark and Margaret Bennett, Bombshells, Josie and the Pussycats, with art by Lily Les Horde. In doing my research, I found that 16% of comic book creators are females, according to a 2019 study, and only 30% comic book characters are women. Young Ripper was attacking those statistics, by the way. Anyway, on the other hand, roughly half of comic book buyers are female. Something did not sit right with me in the ad exchange, and all these signs were telling me to make my own, said Clark. Mama sent around Maya, a busy single parent, whose life is upended with the discovery of superpowers. She is a single mom that's about to get shit done. This was born from the idea that single mothers are superheroes. You need superhuman strength to do that. When you get into your 30s and your friends start having kids, you're like, oh my God, I was not aware. Okay, and it just keeps going on. All right. Okay, the bloating, the hair growth, the mood swings, the acne, all of it. We hate it when that happens. Speaking for myself and everyone I've just met who has had a period. What if we turned that around and made the period something that we can feel as this unique, crazy, superhuman thing that happens in our body? When Maya is scared, she goes invisible. When she's angry, she has superhuman strength. She can swing like Spider-Man from her armpit hair, Clark says. Through both lenses, Clark and a creative team sought to lionize the single mom whose media depiction is usually one of struggle, sadness, and efforts to rebalance her life with a male partner. When it comes to menses, the actor thinks it's way past time we normalize something that over half the world population experiences. Okay. She's so ashamed of her powers at the start, it's mental. Even today, if your tampon falls out of your bag, it's embarrassing. Why? Clark asks. Okay, so I think we might have a bit.
And just about every woman that I know says, since when? They haven't been. No woman that I know has been embarrassed of a tampon falling out of her purse since they were a freshman in high school. Yeah. Grow up.
I am wondering too. They're always saying this is a big progressive female character. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak, but it's almost sounding like this is almost a bad portrayal of women in this comic. Okay, what do you think?
It's really
like being
simple.
a woman is something to be disgusted by.
First, this has zero
understand.
to do with Emilia Clarke. Okay, this is 100% about Marguerite Bennett. Look her up. She's a DC Comics writer, and she is a full wacoso. Okay, she is the head woke over there. She is Miss Fourth Wave Feminist. This is her all over it. This interview that was supposedly done with Emilia Clarke was done by email. I can guarantee you that she herself didn't say any of those things. It was Bennett who was making up these stories for her. This is a puff piece to promote her thing, and they contracted Emilia Clarke to put her name on it. That's all it is. It's, like all those books, all those Star Trek books, in quotes, by William Shatner and the guy that actually wrote it. Same thing here.
Oh, he didn't write Tech Wars? I always like to imagine he did. Okay, moving on. Auto addresses menstrual cycle woman is the hero we deserve, but not the hero that we need right now ever. What if a man was writing this comic book with the same premise? Would they be calling him a misogynist?
Well, but then he'd have to write it about what? A man who gets his power from nocturnal emissions? I don't know. This is just the stupidest thing. And, what was that line? Something about, we should make the period something, empowering. You mean like giving birth to the next generation of humanity? That's not enough of a frickin' superpower for you, you dumb bitch.
Okay. So anyway.
I'm sorry, swinging by your armpit hairs kind of pales by comparison to making life.
This feels like a whole troll. This whole comic book feels
like
a troll.
I absolutely think it is. It's also not even going to be, am I correct? It's not even being released as physical media. It's just coming out in digital form.
I don't know. They said it was Image Comics releasing it, but I don't know. Apparently you can pre-order it. I should see if there's a physical version available. That's a good point. But
when you consider that big name comics are barely selling, you think this is going to sell? Come on. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. I don't think even Emilia Clarke wants this. I think she said, "Yeah, I would love to, be the banner for a new superhero from the comic book. Yeah, sure, do it." Wait, what? What is this about? What did I sign my name to? I almost feel sorry for her, to be honest.
You think she's not aware of any of this?
I don't think she was at the time.
I don't know.
And now she's in too deep to get out of it. Because
so
she has never come off as this kind of a wokester. She's never come out and talked about #MeToo.
I've never heard her talk about any of this, no.
Right.
Which is why this was odd to me.
And people that know her, they were talking about this exact same thing on Midnight's Edge last week. And Script Doctor was saying, look, I've spoken with this woman. Okay? She is not like this. Those are not her words. But it sounds a damn sight like Marguerite Bennett, for darn sure.
Just posing as Emilia Clarke.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe it does strike me as odd. My main thought, though, is if this is you, or if you have anything to do with this, you got to start making smarter decisions, because you were big on Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones is the past now. Okay.
And that was a world of suck. I mean,
I'm not blaming her.
She knows that. No, I'm not either. But that is not something she, it's tarnished that for her. And then, of course, Genesis, like you were talking about earlier, that has not helped any. she's really kind of batting 1,000 here. Her career is taking a nosedive fast.
I would have liked her as Captain Marvel. I think she would have been a better fit for that character, but
she'd have been adorable.
Yes,
that would have been so cool.
Because she has, I don't know, I'm trying to think what else I've seen her in besides those. She was in that one movie about the paraplegic guy, which I didn't care much for that. But yeah, what else has she been in? I don't know. I will say this. There's a wonderful interview with her, like when she's on the red carpet, and they're asking her, "How was the latest season of Game of Thrones before it aired?" And she
Best
goes,
season ever.
And you know when you hear her say that, she knew how bad it was. That's why she said it that way.
Yeah,
I guess you were stuck as the actor, so I'm not really.
It was like so many of the interviews that I saw with Mark Hamill talking about the sequel trilogy. It was like you could tell he wanted to say some things that he contractually could not say.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Jake Skywalker and all that, right?
I had to just pretend it was Jake Skywalker or something because it wasn't my Luke Skywalker.
It wasn't my Luke Skywalker.
It's like,
no.
Wow, that's.
It might be important if you have an actor that played an iconic role to maybe listen to what he has to say about the character.
No, because
just a thought.
Because
I don't know.
These dicks have too much ego for that. It's like, you just shut up and play the role that I tell you to play because I know what's best. And then the movie tanks, and then they just, blame all the, ists and phobes and,
Yeah.
I subverted your expectations. Yeah, you did. And we subverted your expectations because you were expecting to make money.
Told you at this point they can subvert my expectations by making a good Star Wars movie.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's move on. Discovery CFO talks Warner merger deal. Cost cutting.
What does that tell you? People are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah, and I never feel good about these sort of things too. I mean, to be fair, some people deserve to lose their jobs because especially when they're attacking fans and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then you have the rank and file people in these organizations.
Well, where I get the schadenfreude is when there's a merger or something like this, and they go, "Oh, nobody's going to lose their jobs," and of course they're going to say that, and anyone with even a teeny tiny two brain cells to rub together knows that's a lie. But if you're dumb enough to go, "Oh yeah, they told me everything was going to be okay, so my job is safe," and then you find out you lost your job, I sit here and go, most of your friends had their resume out already. You're a dumbass.
I have to say,
welcome to reality.
Yes, well, that's the thing, though. You can't stay with anybody because it's so chaotic over there. It's like, Discovery CFO, feel free to interrupt us at any time because, in my opinion, this is a bunch of corporate speak that I think it's a bunch of BS. But anyway, I'll read it, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Discovery CFO Gunnar Weidenfels sees the merger of his company and AT&T's WarnerMedia, allowing for a big increase in content investment owing to cost-cutting synergies available to both sides of the deal. He's quoted, "There is so much structure, efficiency, potential in the combination that we can afford to make those content investments and get a much more beneficial financial profile."
Okay, yeah. Let me stop you there because
put me to sleep. Oh.
Well, let me comment on that because we also have to go back to something else that we were talking about when this merger was first announced. I had said specifically, I don't see a great deal of overlap. Are you going to have Arthur Curry, Aquaman hosting Greatest Catch? I mean, I don't really see that. So if they're gonna start doing you've got Warner Brothers, you've got your movies, you've got your documentaries. These things don't really overlap that much. So I'm not really sure how they're planning to combine. And I mean, from a purely intellectual standpoint, I'm actually kind of curious to see what ends up, actually happening and who they do start letting go and what, synergies they actually decide on. Because I don't see it. I'm not saying that it's not there. Obviously, I'm not part of their corporate structure to have those kinds of insights, but
rebuild your house to look like Wayne Manor, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
House Hunters were at Wayne Manor or something like that. Is that even a
what's your superpower? I'm a great interior designer.
You could have the what is it that country couple remodeling Wayne Manor or something, or in the movie. It'd be like that'd be the synergy. Like Alfred invites them in and they're free. Never mind. Okay.
I'm sorry, and now I was just distracted because I saw Horizon Talker's comment. Wolf 10 Media, did you read Bunnicula when you were young? And I remember that. It was about a little bunny, vampire bunny, that used to suck the juice out of carrots and stuff.
I heard of that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think he was talking about a vampire that could live off menstrual blood, or that. Anyway. He can bring that quote up again. I'll read it off. But what was I going to say? That was getting back to the Amelia Clark thing.
Right.
What was I going to say? Hold on.
We were talking about
synergy. We're talking about synergy.
Mergers and people losing their jobs and yeah.
Okay.
Disney, Discovery.
With Discovery Financial Chief set to play a key role in the critical integration of Discovery WarnerMedia units, Weidenfels was asked how both companies can best capture value creation from the mega merger. The company expects $3 billion in cost saving synergies after two. What? Okay, cost. He's going to save $3 billion. How's he going to do that? He cut some of these Superman.
He gets rid of a lot. Projects. Yeah, he lays off a whole bunch of people. That's usually what happens after.
Get him out of there. Can they get rid of JJ though? Is that a contract they have to honor?
Oh God! Oh, for crying out loud! One can only hope. I mean, it would be in their best interest. I do have to say.
Listen to me. Under the terms of the deal, AT&T will spin off entertainment arm WarnerMedia and combine it with Discovery, creating a TV, film, and streaming powerhouse led by Discovery CEO David Zaslav. AT&T WarnerMedia owns the likes of the Warner Brothers studio, HBO and streaming service HBO Max, as well as Turner cable networks, including CNN, TNT, and TBS, Discovery Reality, TV-heavy properties, including Discovery Channel, HGTV, TLC, the Food Network, OWN, and Animal Planet. Woo! That's like half the cable channels. Okay, no, I'm sorry. CNN, maybe you can cost cut there. Hint, hint. Sorry. Okay, we love CNN here. I'm kidding, of course. Okay, Weidenfels told the investors conference Discovery will invest at a record pace in content in the wake of WarnerMedia merger deal. We will be spending more on content this year than ever before in the history of Discovery. We're really investing heavily, these said. Okay, so this is a whole bunch of Greek salad. Any other thoughts? Why are you not in the stream? Okay, I'll add you back. Okay.
No other thoughts.
Oh, I like this comment. Poison Ivy on HGTV. How to make your perfect garden.
Right, exactly.
But don't prune.
Actually, I gotta be honest. These are actually not bad ideas. That might actually be worthwhile.
Like Jason Momoa saying "Legends of the Sea," like that sort of thing.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Killer Croc on Food Network. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
But stop. This is like when I'm in the grocery store and I'm buying some vegetables and I see Rey from The Last Jedi on the package. Please get Rey off my baby carrots, okay? I don't need to see her right now, okay? This was happening a while ago in a grocery chain.
That brings up some really not right images.
Okay, well, anyways, we're moving on now.
Good.
Are we excited? No, not really. I don't know what this is going to include. What are they getting rid of? What are they keeping?
Again, yeah, I'd be interested to see what happens with that.
This strikes me as an odd combination.
It is.
It's all like documentaries and home improvement shows and stuff like that, and TLC. Yeah. I'm trying to think. What channel has that that one reality show on it? The like the Kardashians. What are they on?
Oh, who knows now?
Vanderpump Rules. What are all those shows on? Are they on any of these?
I have no idea because it no longer makes any sense. I mean, the Discovery Channel was supposed to be all science, and it became all reality channel. MTV used to be all music, and now it's all reality TV. So reality TV is just on just about every channel now.
Yeah. We had Survivor on CBS. Remember that? Which is really a game show. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
That is. Okay.
A rigged one. I honestly don't think that, there's anything fair about that. I have always said, I want to see, something like a Bear Grylls kind of thing, where you take 5 people out, drop them off in the woods, no rules. The one that survives wins.
I always found Big Brother more interesting. Not that I have time to keep up with that stuff anymore, but Big Brother was like a weird, like a psychology experiment on all these. Like you have all these people being stuck in like the small house and can't go out for like.
And really, it's
months.
like whoever pisses off the most people is the one that gets voted out. That has nothing to do with survival or anything.
But then you
like
have
that.
to make alliances and stuff, and then it's all just it's. Okay.
Which has pretty much brought us to 2020, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. Oh man, imagine doing. Never mind.
Yeah, let's not even think
Let's not
too
go
much
there.
about that one.
Okay. Next news topic. Okay. I said retires in the headline. Contemplates retirement. Okay.
Yeah.
There's only so much space when you're making your streamlined headline.
Well, that's true.
So did I lie? Maybe. Okay. Quentin Tarantino contemplates retirement.
Did you get a thumbs down? You haven't gotten a thumbs down, so nobody got that upset about it this time.
Well, I'm upset if he retires, but I also understand why he might. Okay, so he actually makes some good points.
But keep in mind, though, that just because he may not continue directing doesn't mean he's done writing or producing.
He's not done creatively. In fact, he's actually they go into this article. He actually, I don't know if it's in this article, but he basically says that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the novelization is coming out. And he actually said it's a throwback to how you used to get movie novelizations of big movies back in the day. And he used to read them growing up. And he said, I'll just write my own novelization of my own movie. And I think that's kind of funny, of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Did you get the catch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I did not. No.
It's okay. I loved it. I finally caught it last year. I actually think it's my favorite Tarantino movie. And that's saying a lot. Some people didn't like it. Some people did. You have to go with what the conceit is for the movie.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say. I don't even want to spoil it for you.
You almost have to do that with any
at
Quentin Tarantino film.
I get where he is coming from. By the end of the movie, I understand it, and I know it threw some people off, and they didn't like it because of this conceit. I did, and it's just no spoiling in the chat if you haven't seen it.
Speaking of conceits, and filmmakers, I would love to see an experiment where Quentin Tarantino and David Lynch are both given a basic idea for a movie. Go do it.
That would be
Put
amazing.
Them both out by the same studio at the same time. You both have carte blanche to do whatever you want, and we'll do them as a double feature.
Kind of like how we got that the 2 versions of the Exorcist, that one Exorcist movie that came out that were done by 2 different people.
Right.
I would love that. You remember the show Project Greenlight? They should do that again and do that. Quentin Tarantino, David Lynch. I'd be fascinated.
Right.
Like they even get the same basic screenplay and they can change it however they want. That's a killer idea.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I would love to see both movies too. I'd be fascinated.
But that is the key. The studio cannot get involved. You give them carte blanche.
Not only that, give them carte blanche, but also give them budgetary constraints too.
Oh yeah.
And you can only use this, or you have to use this certain act. Well, I don't know. Let's not go that far. They can pick.
Well, there's got to be some so there's even on both sides. You both have the same constraints. It can be big budgets, but they both have to have the same budget.
Oh, that would be so fascinating.
Wouldn't that be great? And I could see both of them being up for that kind of idea under those circumstances. If they are truly given, because I'll tell you what, David Lynch, he's always been upset about the fact that he's had to deal with the studios. It's been the biggest blight for him as a filmmaker.
You could do like different seasons. You could do another season with like M. Night Shyamalan versus like Robert Rodriguez or something. It'd be you keep doing.
That would be bizarre, but that would be great.
I would love it. Because talk about, because what we're talking about here is auteur directors where their signature is all over the place. You don't have the producers sticking their nose and saying you got to change this. No, and I think that could be part of the reason maybe why Tarantino needs a break. Because let's face facts,
you could do a season. You could do a season with Taika Waititi and Ryan Johnson.
My money would be on Taika Waititi. Okay, I'll say that.
My money would be on. I don't think anyone will watch that season.
But my point, but anyway, I'm not looking forward to the next Thor movie. But Ragnarok was all right for what it was. I thought it was funny. I thought that the jokes got pushed out too far in the Endgame movie, though. I thought they went too far with that. But anyway, what was I going to say here? Let's go. It's been over a year. Okay, here's the article. It's been over a year since Quentin Tarantino last spoke publicly about his decision to retire from feature filmmaking after his 10th movie. Is he still planning to fold the director's chair as of June 2021? Based on his appearance on this week's Pure Cinema podcast, it sure sounds like it. Tarantino joined the show to discuss 5 great final movies from his favorite directors. Tony Scott's Unstoppable is mentioned. And naturally, the conversation turned to Tarantino's own plan to end his directing career. Most directors have horrible last movies, Tarantino said. Usually their worst movies are their last movies. That's the case for most of the Golden Age directors that ended up making their last movies in the late 60s and 70s. Then that ended up being the case for most new Hollywood directors who made their last movies in the 80s and 90s. Tarantino pointed to Bonnie and Clyde director Arthur Penn as an example, noting, "I'm not a super huge fan of this director. The fact that Arthur Penn's last movie is Penn and Teller Get Killed is a metaphor for how crummy most of the new Hollywood directors' last films were."
Have you seen that movie?
I have not. Have you?
I have.
Did you
I
like
highly, highly recommend it.
So you're saying it's good. He didn't like it, but we
he's nuts. But
okay.
Yeah, it's very much like what you were just saying. You've got to buy into the conceit, and by the end of it, if you think a little bit, you get it. You know.
Yeah. But he goes on to say most directors' last films are fucking lousy. The director continued before turning the discussion toward his own career and joking about maybe calling it quits now following Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which earned rave reviews and won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Maybe I should make another movie because I could be really happy with dropping the... Maybe I should not make another because I could be really happy with dropping the mic, Tarantino said. That's the frustrating part. A lot of really terrific directors, it's like their third to last movie would have been amazing, an amazing one to end on, which goes back to what I was saying about myself. Or, if Don Siegel had stopped with Escape from Alcatraz, I don't know. What do we think here? I don't want to. I don't want to see him stop directing. But then he goes on to say that he recently he's a new father. He's a husband and father now. I'm sure that takes a lot of time out of what you have time to do. I'm gonna
speculate a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
This is based on nothing but pure speculation. I have to wonder if Tarantino isn't also looking at the way the studio system is working right now and getting a little, like so many people in Hollywood, getting a little dissatisfied and just wanting to step away from it.
I don't mind. I don't blame him, but I think it would be kind of sad to lose more movies by him. Again, though, he doesn't want to make a bad movie, and I get that. That happens with a lot of directors I've loved. I'm a big fan of Dario Argento, but let's face facts, his recent output has not been good, okay? Especially the last 10,
look,
20 years.
If he's really sincere, I just want to go out while I'm on top. That's fair. The other option is he retires. If he later on decides he wants to do something, he can do it, and he can do it as an independent.
Yeah, that's true. Well, to be fair, a lot of his movies have been we would call it independent movies. I know Reservoir Dogs was.
That makes it very easy to step back into it anytime he wants to.
I am going to say, though, he had some good ideas for future movies. He wanted to do like how they made a lot of horror movies in the 70s based on novels,
sure,
like The Exorcist and stuff like that. He wanted to take a novel from the 70s that hadn't been made into a movie and try doing that, because he never really tried doing a horror movie. Death Proof sort of as a horror movie, but I kind of look at that more as a exploitation type movie. But I'd like to see his hand at doing a horror movie.
I kind of do too. Now that you
I'd like to see him do that Star Trek movie. Remember, what I found funny about Quentin Tarantino is that he's a Star Trek fan, big time.
Honestly, every interview that he did about it had me thinking, you know what? As goofy as it sounds, he'd actually do something better than what they're putting out there right now.
Oh, definitely. Remember, because he was talking to J.J. Abrams, right? He had that interview. He said he was talking to J.J. Abrams, and he says, "Yes, but you'd have to do it in the Kelvin timeline."
And he's like, "What the hell's the Kelvin timeline?
What's the Kelvin timeline?" He doesn't understand. He didn't understand any of this. He's like, "No." He's like, "Oh, so you want to be in the universe where the city from the edge of forever happened?" Yes, all that had to happen. And he said he loved the episode with what is it? The Yesterday's Enterprise, was that the one you were talking about, where the Enterprise from the past comes to the present and the whole war situation gets screwed up with the Federation Klingon
Yesterday's
Empire.
Enterprise.
He said he loved that episode. He loved how it explained the Klingons, about how the Klingons came to respect the Federation because they realized they could die with honor, right?
Narendra 3, exactly. Because literally the crew of the Enterprise sacrificed themselves to protect 2 Klingon bird of prey. Yeah,
that were being attacked by Romulans, and that started the peace negotiations, I think, didn't it? Yes. So that's actually a great storyline. So he would
you juxtapose that with Mikey Spock, firing on the Klingons and starting a war with them. It's like, oh jeez.
Yeah, we actually, to hear more on that, check out our discussion from Friday. We run all the way from the old Star Trek up to where it is now. And
that's over on my channel. Go check it out if you're interested.
I will say this. I thought there were interesting ideas present, like, again, a human being raised by Vulcans that has suppressed rage because she's been taught not to express emotion.
Right, but apparently the only Vulcan that any of those writers knew was Spock and his father, so it
just
had to
come
be
up
related,
with somebody else. Okay.
No, there is no other Vulcans, only Spock and his
Vulcans
father.
on that planet. Okay.
Not after they blew it up.
I wish Quentin Tarantino the best. I may actually read that novelization of Once Upon a Time Hollywood is bringing out. I think I'll look into that because, and he says they're going to be released as cheap mass market paperbacks like they were in the old days. You'll be able to buy a hardcover later on, but like they're going to be released like as like the way you used to buy them in stores. Your movie novelization. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know. And I really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. A great send up to the cinema atmosphere of 1969. I wasn't there, but that period fascinates me. Okay, and it's a wonderful little it's a wonderful Tarantino movie. If that's his last movie, I would say he went out on a high note. Okay.
Yep.
And you get cameos by other actors, by other actors playing other famous actors, like Bruce Lee's in there, Steve McQueen's in there. They have little cameos. It's funny. Okay. All right, and treat it as. Don't treat it as this is what happened. Treat it as this is what might have. I don't want to get into it. Just watch the movie. Moving on. Anything else to say about Quentin Tarantino?
No, I respect the guy a lot. I support his decision, and I hope he's not out of movies permanently.
Yes. Oh, JJ blew up Romulus and Vulcan. Pointed ears, lies matter. Frankly, Tarantino should be the guy in charge of Star Trek. Period. Probably.
I know, right?
At this point. And they're already using the F-bomb in it, so he'd be right at home. I'm kidding, of course.
Well, that's what I thought, too. But then, because that was my original take on it. It's like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what we need. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, there is nothing that Tarantino would do that would be any worse than what they've already done in Discovery. Fuck it. Why not? Go ahead. Have Tarantino do a Star Trek film.
Could you imagine Picard walking into the room and it's Samuel L. Jackson behind the desk and just... Get these mother effing Romulans out of here! Just going.
Get these mother effing Romulans out of my mother.
Yeah, I know. Just man.
I mean, he would blow past sheer fucking hubris. He would be MF and this and MF and that.
Oh, it was funny. There was this anime series called Afro Samurai, right? It's kind of cool. It's like a futuristic thing, but like it's about a black samurai in the future, right? Like in a post-apocalyptic type world. And basically, it was a manga written, and Samuel Jackson was walking around. I think some company saw that I'm involved in that, and he of course lent his voice. I think to one of the, I think to the main character, or at least the ghost side character in it. And it's like. And I guess the Japanese creator was a big fan of his, and basically he's just cussing up a storm on this anime. It's funny though.
I was just thinking that they probably couldn't get Avery Brooks back to reprise his role as Cisco.
Oh, really?
So you swap in Sam Jackson. That would be awesome. Again, directed by Tarantino though. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
Oh, I'd like to see Sam tell Michael, "Bitch, please," like he did with Bree. Oh, funny.
Bitch, please. Sit down. Shut up, bitch.
Was that in the King Kong movie? Or is that something else? Okay.
I don't know, but it does sound like him, doesn't it?
They were both in the King Kong movie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Afro Samurai. Yep.
He's gonna get blood all over somebody's collector cards.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then he gets. Well, he'll get blood all over something. That's for sure in that universe.
Okay, but now we're moving on to Cruella and the Cruel Box Office Challenge.
Wait,
here.
you're
Oh, wait a minute.
jumping over Jurassic World.
I am?
Yeah, Jurassic
What
World
the heck?
Dominion. You're really all off wonky today, aren't you?
What the heck? Oh no, I did a bad cut and paste. Bear with me, boomer moment. Okay,
No, I'll drop it. So,
just drop it. Just drop the links. I'll try and catch up. I'll read from the article.
well,
okay?
let me drop the article title first. And then that's what I'm here for, to back you up.
No, I did okay, that's why I'm messing up here. Never mind. Wasn't okay. We're going to talk about Jurassic World Dominion by talking about Cruella, okay? Hope you're okay with that. Okay, anyway.
So Jurassic World somehow got involved in the machines for voting or something like that? Is that what this is all about?
No. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment, this is from the Collider article, Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment have announced that a special extended preview of Jurassic Park Dominion will play exclusively ahead of every IMAX screening of F9 starting June 25th. And Collider had an opportunity to view the footage at its premiere. The preview takes place in the past and the present, kicking off 65 million years ago during the Cretaceous period, and the score was done by composer Michael Giacchino. The preview plays like a nature film where we are following a number of dinosaurs as they wander around the land. It's peaceful and quiet, allowing us to take in the beauty of our planet before humans arrived. In addition, since we're back in time, we get to see 7 new species of dinosaurs created by the team at Industrial Light and Magic that have never been seen in any Jurassic film before. Dreadnoughts, Quetzalcoatl, I can't even pronounce that. Quetzalcoatlus. Okay.
Quetzalcoatls? Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, Quetzalcoatl. Okay. Anyway, Oviraptor, Nasu, Triceratops, Iguanodon, Morris Intrepidus, and Gigantosaurus.
What are they going to do with Iguanodon? This is going to be a nightmare.
It's not going to be a nightmare. I like these movies. Leave me alone. Leave it alone. Okay. Toward the middle of the extended preview, we encounter a T-Rex and a Gigantosaurus fighting, and after a short battle, the T-Rex is killed. As we get a close-up on its eye dilating, we see a mosquito fly and suck out some blood from the area nearby. Is it the same amber mosquito that John Hammond has on his staff in the first Jurassic Park movie? That is undetermined, but it's pretty clear this is the origin story of the T-Rex we have come to know and love in the Jurassic films. That's kind of interesting, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it is. And, I mean, as these Jurassic Park films have gone along, paleontologists have been, discovering new things and making suggestions about dinosaurs with feathers and this and that and so on and so forth. Arguments over whether or not T-Rex had lips, believe it or not. It's very, very interesting. And but yeah, one of the big ones that to this day is debated is exactly what does Iguanodon look like and the history of how he's been reconstructed. So
you're afraid they're going to get it completely wrong.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things that's so speculative. They'd probably be better off just not even touching that particular one. Just leave it alone.
Well, we're going to see it.
If that's the worst of their problems, I'd say they're probably doing okay. I'm just a little picky when it comes to these kinds of things, but
yeah.
I didn't see the last movie, so I don't even know where we're at with all of this. It's just
okay. Well,
are we still trying to make merry-go-rounds with velociraptors? I mean, this is ridiculous.
No. Okay. Do you want to know the brief plot of the second movie?
Sure.
Okay. It's funny because it starts out, I think, with Congress, and Jeff Goldblum goes for Congress, and they're saying the island where all the dinosaurs are in Jurassic World, which had to be evacuated, there's a huge volcano on it. It's going to explode, and all the dinosaurs are going to get killed. And Jeff Goldblum says, good.
Yeah.
Nature's given us an out, okay? We just have to do nothing, and it'll take care of the problem. But, of course, there's also teams of people that want to save the dinosaurs. Okay, so, and the characters from the previous movie get involved, like Chris Pratt and, what's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard, their characters get involved. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out that people trying to rescue the dinosaurs are actually trying to auction off the dinosaurs to evil people throughout the world, which I found, I'm sorry, and Toby Jones runs the auction. He has a Texan accent. I think he has a Texan accent. I'm sorry, that was cool, having an auction, and you have all these people from around the world, like dictators and terrorists, are bidding on the. I got a kick out of it. Okay, I know you're probably rolling your eyes, and it's at a mansion underground, and of course.
Well, I'll be honest, where they've gotten to in these movies, it does kind of make perfect sense.
And then, of course, the dinosaurs get loosed at the end.
Shocker!
And now they're in North America. And not only that, though, they're talking about saying the dinosaurs. There are also the aquatic dinosaurs that are still in the ocean areas that are now coming to our shores. So I think basically the dinosaurs are now going to be Jurassic World is going to be literally Jurassic World. We're going back there. Okay, the dinosaurs, I think that's always been the promise that eventually, in these movies,
you have
dinosaurs are going to be running. You're going to have an invasive species on our turf now. But as we cut to 65 million years later, we're following a T-Rex as it's racing through a forest, being chased by people in a helicopter, trying to take it down with a tranquilizer dart. As the race through the forest continues, the T-Rex enters a drive-in parking lot where chaos unfolds as people scramble to escape the massive dinosaurs. The sequence ends. You're left wanting more. I'm interested. Okay. I'm a sucker for these movies. I don't care, okay?
This has obviously gone beyond Michael Crichton and has simply become a Michael Bay film.
It's not become a Michael Bay film. It's smarter than a Michael Bay film. And so, not all Michael Bay films are bad. 13 Hours is a good movie, okay?
Okay, so the movie that I've never heard of was a good movie. Okay.
The one about the Benghazi thing, okay? You actually may want to check that out. It's actually a pretty good war type movie.
Okay.
But anyway, Colin Trevorrow expressed his excitement over the preview footage. Ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to see dinosaurs in their natural habitat. It may have taken a few decades, but with a little help from ILM, Universal, and Amblin, it has finally happened. This preview is just a glimpse of the film we've made. It's an epic celebration of everything Steven Spielberg and Michael Crichton created, and I can't wait to share it with the world next summer. Okay.
Yeah, the prehistoric stuff sounds very, very compelling. I mean, and I hope this also leads to, just as the original Jurassic Park with all of their advances in CG from that, who knows, maybe they could be doing some stuff for, museums and stuff like that, using that same footage and those same models. And if this, trailer for this is being put in front of F9, might be the only reason worth going to see F9.
Maybe. Well, no, I hate to. I understand people not wanting to see it because of a certain actor opening up his flat trap over things he should. Okay, recently, but the movie itself looked fine from the preview. If you're into the Fast and the Furious movies, Mosasaur is the only aquatic dino. That must have been the one they showed in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I have okay. What is Leia Plus? I've only liked Jurassic Park. I feel it's beating a dead horse now in a cash grab.
I agree with you.
I don't care. I want to see dinosaurs.
I will say this, Leia Plus Size. There were some elements of the second movie. I feel like there were scenes in the second movie that could be like spliced into the first one to make a more complete, Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, so to speak. But that's just me.
Yeah. I don't know. So you're not looking forward to this at all?
I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying...
You didn't bother seeing Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom got ragged on by the press, okay? They were just attacking it, and I was actually expecting it to be bad. I went to see it, I thought, this is fine. It wasn't as good as the first Jurassic World, but I thought it was a good enough sequel. Like I said, the stuff with the little girl threw me off a little bit, but even that I can forgive. I'm expect. It's
and this was Chris. What's his name was in it too?
Yes,
Chris Pratt.
Yes, Chris Pratt's in it.
Yeah, that alone.
He's good in them
actually.
And I love Jurassic World. I don't care. I will stand by that movie. You know what Jurassic Park movie I didn't like was The Lost World. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that. That's probably why I lost it. And I did see the first Pratt film. And I was like, okay, this is okay. But it wasn't so okay that I went out of my way to see the second one.
Here's what I liked about Jurassic World. I consider there are a lot of farcical elements in it, okay? Mm-hmm. The idea that after what we saw in the old Jurassic Park movies, that someone would actually just, it was a bad idea then, the whole thing, and no, we're just going to build an even bigger park with dinosaurs on it. And now we have to make new dinosaurs
It
that
does-
didn't even exist before.
It does kind of feel like
bring the tourists in, and it's
it does kind of feel like a very 2020 kind of concept, right? We've made stupid decisions. We're doubling down on those stupid decisions, and we're pretty much going to wipe out society by doing it. I mean, that does seem to be where we're going, right?
Yes, exactly. And it was basically how it was a stupid idea. And yet I kind of looking at the tours at the park and I'm thinking, I might want to go there. Horribly expensive to go there, too. That's the impression I got, too. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So in other words, it's kind of ripping on Disney, too.
I think so. Like, there's a scene where the guy was, where the pterodactyls get loose and they're attacking everybody. And I see a guy run to the table to grab the 2 beers he bought. And I bet those are $30 beers. You bet. I don't care if they're pterodactyls in the air. I'm grabbing them.
Right.
That's what I thought he was thinking
That's
of.
exactly right. And another take that I'm going to put on this is, regardless of what I think of these movies, I do kind of like the toys that they've been putting out. You know,
Are they
the
good
action
toys?
figures. They are. They really are. In fact, I would recommend, if anyone's into, you know, action figures and toys and whatnot, Retro Blasting just did in the past week or so a really good discussion. Now, he tends to be a little bit, you know, he finds the negative to point out, and there's some things that I kind of agree with him about where they made some dumb decisions, but yeah, there are some really good things about those action figures, and especially for someone like me that likes to make, you know, custom figures. There's a couple particular characters from the Mos Eisley Cantina that have never been released, so I can go and get a what's her name, Laura Dern figure from Jurassic Park and chop her head off and swap it onto Alea's body and repaint it, and boom, I got Jenny.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's kind of neat, actually.
Yep.
So,
So
not Laura Dern from Last Jedi. though.
yeah, no, because she actually never got a 3 3/4 inch action figure. So F that. That's how popular, you know, Admiral Gender Studies was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I still like Laura Dern enough to forget that she was ever.
I'm
in
not
any way
even
involved in
I'm
Star
not really
Wars.
going to be picking on the actors in that movie. Here's what I think happened. I'm going to say this too. Last Jedi, I don't know, was the makeup person on vacation that week? Every actor in that movie looks terrible, except for maybe Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Every actor looks terrible. Laura Dern's on the red carpet for the premiere of that movie looks so much better. I don't understand what they were doing.
Well, the same
Oscar
with
Isaac looked terrible.
Rose
It just
Tico. Rose
They
Tico.
were terrible
When I
haircuts.
saw her on the red carpet, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's
Didn't even
smoking hot."
I didn't even recognize her.
Me neither.
Gave her a terrible haircut. They put her in that potato sack outfit. I don't understand it. Anyway, though, Auto Dread's agree. I'm with you on the Jurassic films. None of them will top the first film, and the 2 books were great, but I enjoyed all the films. Also, it was a nice escape from reality. That's basically what I thought. And I'm going to say this. Sometimes I go to the movies just for spectacle, okay? I'm not necessarily expecting a hugely deep experience. I'm going for spectacle. I don't want to be lectured or treated like I'm an idiot either. But, you know, the Fast and the Furious movies, the Jurassic Park movies, that's what they are. They're, you know, now I don't necessarily trust where Universal's going in the future because I've heard there was a memo sent around in there that could mean for more woke stuff coming from them. But for the most part, those movies have just been action adventure movies that you can just sit back and enjoy. And if you don't like that sort of thing, don't go see it. That's all. Okay. But and I think Casey Scott had a question. There was a sequel to Jurassic World. I think a lot of people didn't even know it came out. It's like Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. It's like,
I'll tell you, sometimes the problems that we have with movies is more about the marketing of those films than the actual films themselves. You know, there's so many films that I haven't seen because they were marketed so poorly, and it's not until like decades later someone says, "Oh, you really should see such and such film." And then I'm like, this is not at all what I thought this movie was, you know?
yeah, it can happen.
I'll tell you what, guys. Bruce Willis, Hudson Hawk.
Yeah, I was
Have you
about to
ever
bring
heard of
that
that
up.
movie? That movie was not marketed correctly at all.
People were treating it like it was the worst thing ever made, but you're saying it holds up pretty well and that they were.
It holds up pretty well if you don't go into it expecting it to be
Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard, except as a heist movie. It was more like Moonlighting as a heist movie. It's
how he got
a
his start.
screwball comedy. It's not meant to be taken seriously. If you go looking for Die Hard, which is how it was marketed, you are very disappointed. You're like, this is stupid. Sure, it's stupid for a Die Hard movie. It's not stupid for a screwball comedy.
No. Troy Pacheco, are you talking about the Mattel Amber collection?
Yeah, and I said,
okay,
I think that's the one that I was talking about. Yeah,
they aren't bad. Yeah, he said they aren't bad. There's some quality issues with some of the releases, but the sculpture designs look great. Okay.
Utter Dread. If you, cause you apparently know it even better than I do. Go check out Retro Blastings, because he compared the two different versions of the Jeep. And I'm just one quick example of what he pointed out. He's like, there were two Jeeps that were put out, and I forget the numbers. The one was the one that Nedry is escaping in, and the other is the one that the main characters are riding when they see the brachiosaurs, right? The one with the brachiosaur has a working winch, and the one that Nedry is in doesn't have a winch, which is stupid. It should be the other way around, because the only time you see the winch in use is when Nedry is trying to get himself out of the mud. Things like that. One of them has rear view mirrors and the other one doesn't. And he's like, if they put out the third Jeep, it better have, the rear view mirrors, because that's the scene with the joke, objects in the mirror appear closer than they really are. Or are closer than they appear, or whatever, and he's making these points, and it's like, yeah, those are the kinds of things where, this was poor planning. This was not, you didn't have the molds for it, or whatever the case was, just from a marketing and toy construction standpoint, just little minor things. But by and large, they're good looking toys, and they kind of fit with your 3 3/4 inch, Star Wars and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway. Cool. Not that Retro Blasting needs us to support them, but there's a reason that they're monetized, because they're actually putting out good content.
Oh, Wolf 10's recommending Upgrade. I've never heard of that, but he's also mentioning Hugo. Hugo, I own. I need to watch it. I know that was weird. I think it was Scorsese's. He was making like a more general audience type movie. Mm-hmm. I think it was about the guy that directed the movie From the Earth to the Moon, or I could be wrong, like that, that might be part of it. I think Ben Kingsley plays that director. I need to check out Hugo. I heard it was good. I just didn't get around to watching it. I think it's based on a children's book, actually. But okay, Cruella box office hints at big challenges for Disney. Okay, this is a Forbes column.
Yep,
and we know what happens at Forbes, right? Didn't they get into trouble last time when Forbes started talking about them?
Well, you got to pay attention, because Forbes is not Variety. Forbes is a business magazine, and the people that are reading this are the ones deciding whether or not they invest in Disney or not, right?
Right.
And this article sends a very clear message of, maybe I should hold off on buying any Disney stock.
Yeah, definitely. What did you think of the article?
This wasn't anything big surprise. I mean, that's the other thing too. Forbes is putting out these hard-hitting articles, and most of us that have any business acumen and know what's going on in the world go, yeah, kind of saw this coming. But when Forbes says it, it's like, oh snap! Now it's real. Now it's not speculation.
Want me to read a little bit from it?
Yeah, go for it.
We just got word that Black Widow will play in IMAX with a specially formatted print, which will feature expanded ratio for 22 minutes of select scenes. Okay. That's enough of a normal development for a big scale tentpole that it almost qualifies as a nature is healing moment. Nonetheless, Walt Disney's Cruella has earned $87 million worldwide after just under 2 weeks in the theaters. The Craig Gillespie directed film opened with $26 million over its Wednesday to Sunday Memorial Weekend debut, dropping a reasonable 49% in weekend 2 for an 11.2 million weekend and 43.7 million 10-day domestic total. Basically, it's underperforming, right? Okay.
Yeah. No big surprise there. And to be honest with you, I have not heard anything positive about Cruella, even from the sites and the writers that are like big, support Disney in every way, shape, and form.
And it says, to be fair, Cruella cost around $100 million, while Dumbo cost $170 million. Why did Cruella cost $100 million?
Everybody is saying that. Where did all that money go? Was that just to the stars? Is that what it is? Because again, this is going back to something we were talking about. If these films are not able to make these big multi-million dollar returns, then they got to stop spending $100 million to make the films, because you can't make a profit that way. You can't spend more to make it than you're realistically going to make back. So maybe it's time to stop hiring these big expensive actors that aren't drawing people anyway, and start getting no-name people. And I said, I actually, on another channel, on another stream, I compared Cruella to the Disney, what do you call it? The direct-to-DVD sequels that they were doing back in the 80s and 90s. And what did they always do? They always recast the actors with some nobody, some C-lister, and they barely made any money off it, but that's okay because they put almost nothing into it.
Remember George of the Jungle 2? They couldn't get Brendan Fraser back.
Right.
They even make a joke about that in the movie. You look different. Yeah, we couldn't get Brendan Fraser. He says to the screen, which I thought was kind of funny, but it's
right.
Still they can't hire because they're making it a maker video.
Well, look at all the Aladdin sequels, and instead of Robin Williams, they got Hank Azaria or whoever it was.
I had heard that the reason Robin Williams didn't come back, there was something Disney did, some kind of breach of contract.
Yeah, there was a lot more to it than that, but Disney effed him, and he didn't want anything to do with them. But what did they do? They went cheap. They went for TV personality rather than big name movie personality.
The guy from The Simpsons,
yeah. And this is what I think all the studios are going to have to do going forward. Stop spending all your money on the talent. And start finding new talent, which is every bit as good, but isn't going to cost you an arm and a leg. Let's start bringing the prices down on the front end and start doing more Jokers. Now, that leads me into another point about this. A lot of people are speculating that Disney was trying to make their version of the Joker with Cruella. Problem is, they didn't do as good a movie.
Here's what I think happened with this. I don't think that was their intent. I think that was the marketing intent.
Oh, maybe.
I think that this was just, we did Maleficent 1 and 2. They did fine. Let's do another one of these, right?
You could be right about that.
And
actually,
I think that then they saw the Joker, said, let's market this as a movie kind of like the Joker. I think that's what happened. Because the Joker didn't cost as much as this movie cost to make, okay?
Right.
Probably not even half the budget, okay? The whole point was they were doing an R-rated movie on a lower budget.
The whole point of doing a movie like Joker is you make a movie, you use you slap a franchise name on it to bring a little extra to it, and you do it on the cheap, and when it ends up doing really, really well, you're in the money. That's how business works, people. Just it's not as difficult as everyone thinks. Spend less money to put out a product and make lots of money, and that's called profit, and that's how you are successful.
But I have a question. Emma Stone's lead in Cruella, right? And Emma Thompson, right? I've seen her. Were they the ones that were getting bank for that role? I mean, I
would imagine so, yeah.
Is this good negotiating on the part of their agents? Because I know that Brie Larson got paid some ridiculous amount for Captain Marvel when I don't think she had the box office cred to even be commanding that. I mean, like Chris Hemsworth.
It is the designer label concept, okay? You are paying for their name. You are paying for what they bring to a box office draw. Problem is, you don't have an effing box office anymore. That is the problem. They're still operating under a paradigm that may be coming back, but as things stand now, does not exist. You are making things going directly to stream. So you got to treat them as such. Basically, this is the same business, the same market as the sequel DVDs, direct to DVD that they used to make. It really is. And they're not treating it that way. They're putting the big name star in the direct to DVD or direct to stream as it is now. Yeah. And that's just brilliant. You overspent on your movie and you're not going to make that money back. Well, anyway, let's get past that, because the point is, this is just another example of Disney making stupid business decisions in a very difficult market. They are losing money hand over fist, and Forbes is calling them out on it and saying they're going to have to change.
Yeah. Let me see. What is it going to say here? There was always a possibility that 2019 fire sale was going to mark an official end to Disney unfettered dominance of theatrical moviegoing, both because Bob Iger was rumored to be stepping down as CEO and because there was a desire to get A-plus theatrical titles into Disney Plus sooner than later. Disney flooded 2019 with essentially their biggest possible installments of their biggest franchises and brands. So we got Toy Story 4, Frozen 2, Aladdin, The Lion King, and the series finales to both Avengers and Star Wars the same year. Yeah. Hollywood took notice and pulled back, essentially letting Disney have their ridiculous $12 billion a year without much of a fight. That's something that really bothers me, too, about modern... Everyone is scared of Disney, at least for a while they were. Maybe they're now finally not scared of them anymore. But, like, they would not want to go up against Disney. I think Sony finally did with Rise of Skywalker. I think they put up the Jumanji sequel like a week before or after or something. But that was annoying me.
Which paid off very well for them, actually, as it turns out.
Yeah, because here's the deal. They think, Disney's just going to dominate regardless, so we have to stay away. And I'm like, fight. Please fight. Used to fight. Okay.
Well, and here's the other thing too. Again, I'm casting the stink eye at marketing, is not knowing who the audience is. Right. Sometimes when you're going up against another big budget film, it doesn't matter if you don't have overlap in the market, right? If you got a big sci-fi film coming out and you have a big drama film coming out, chances are there's not a lot of overlap there. Go ahead and put it out. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're the week before, the week after, the same week, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The people going to see Jurassic World are not the same people that are going to see, I don't know, some chick flick, something that I wouldn't think of.
Well, exactly.
Because they don't overlap. Yeah, Devil Wears Prada, sure.
Which actually I thought was successful for what it was. I think they said, but
yeah,
the pandemic.
Although all the remakes of it haven't been, like Cruella.
Anyway, the pandemic uprooted the 2020 entertainment calendar. The slew of big movies that were supposed to challenge the perception of Disney's dominance, No Time to Die, Wonder Woman 1984, Quiet Place Part F9, got kneecapped by the beer bug. Okay. Meanwhile, in a skew twist of fate, the late 2019 launch of Disney Plus left Disney in a prime position to capitalize on a year where families were stuck in their homes or unable to partake in conventional entertainment activities. However, as theatrical attempts a slow comeback, which likely won't be back to normal until at least the post-summer slate, at some point Disney big movies aren't going to be able to use the pandemic as an excuse.
Yeah. And that's Forbes. You got to also read between the lines when you read a line like that. When you read that in Forbes, that is Forbes basically saying that excuse isn't cutting it now.
Yeah, because you have Godzilla vs. Kong, you have Quiet Place Part 2, which did pretty well for a movie released during this time period. So if Disney underperforms against those, maybe there's something more than it just being the pandemic.
And can we just admit that these live-action remakes and sequels and prequels, they need to stop doing them. They are not paying off. They aren't. I mean, there have been, I think, 2 live action remakes that Disney has done that are actually worth seeing. That's Cinderella and one of the 2 Jungle Books. That's it. The rest of them never should have happened ever.
Well, Aladdin did well, though, which shocked me because I saw the trailer for that and I'm like, this looked like something that would have been made for the Disney Channel in the 80s, just from the production standpoint. It didn't look like it looked like they were filming in a theme park rather than it being like actual Agrabah. You know what I mean?
But did it really do that well, though?
They said it did well worldwide.
Of course they
Disney saying it's like the big hit, blah, blah. Okay.
But I have not seen... Okay, let's put it in terms that will always tell you if something is truly successful. How many Will Smith as Genie T-shirts and action figures have you seen?
Oh, well...
The marketing isn't there, so they lost money. Because the money does not come from the box office for these movies. It comes from the toy sales and the merch. And if there's no merch, you know it flopped.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I use the excuse for Aladdin. Will Smith could you? I mean, I know for a while he would command like he would own the weekend, okay, because any movie he was in would be go box office
It's been
gold
a long
usually.
time since
Yeah,
that was true, though.
yeah,
He is no longer that box office. He's being overpaid. He is one of those actors that I love. I love what he's done. I like a lot of his movies. He's very talented, but he is miscast and taken a lot of shit roles that he should not have. He
that's
needs,
true.
and he unfortunately is now overpaid, just from a market standpoint.
Oh, look at this. I am tired of all the live action remakes, reboots. None of them have been good. I would argue I did like the Planet of the Apes reboot they did. I thought that was good.
Yeah, but we're really talking about Disney cartoons here.
Oh, that
Being
okay?
remade.
Yeah. Well, geez, that
But Leia Plus Size, if you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to see the live action Cinderella. That one actually is worth it. But that was like the first one they did.
well, that's what I thought they were going to do. We're going to do live action versions of these fairy tales. But we're not going to do copy paste of the animated movie. We're just going to do a retelling with live
And
actors.
Cinderella is a perfect example of
you can
just really they elevated it. They really did.
Yeah, you can interpret that story different ways. You know, but still have it be a Disney movie.
It
And I
was
thought
a very, very good movie, and unfortunately, they never raised to that level of quality after that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It says, will Pixar reassert itself as a theatrical event after one flop original Onward and two more originals, Soul and Luca, going to Disney Plus? I don't know. Soul looked interesting to me. I didn't get to see that, but I don't even know what Luca is. Is that the one about the? I think I talked about this a few weeks ago. I've already forgotten what it was about. Okay. Grosses for Dumbo, Mistress of Evil, and Yes, Corella suggest a very real ceiling for theoretical attempts to remake random examples: Lilo and Stitch, Pocahontas, and The Great Mouse Detective, and The Rescuers. Okay. All right. I'm going to say this. Did you see the Dumbo remake?
No, I did not. I refused.
It is such a mess. It is. In some ways, it's fascinating because it's a Tim Burton movie and it has his stamp all over it.
Yeah.
But basically, the villain in it is basically Walt Disney.
For fuck's sake.
Michael Keaton is basically playing like an evil Walt Disney. Like he has a theme park and he wants Dumbo to be the star attraction. Because like they get through most of the animated movie in like the first like half hour, and then it goes into this weird thing with basically.
Well, sure. After they cut out all the in quotes problematic stuff, there's not much left.
Oh, there are so many stupid things, like they were saying no champagne for the baby. I'm like, yeah, so we can't get the pink elephant sequence. But then we see like pink elephants later on with some fancy balloon show in the park. It just they always have to. It's such a bizarre movie, and it has Ava Green in it because I guess she's Burton's muse now. But
I'm sure she is.
She actually uses. I hope she actually has a French accent in it too, which I thought was interesting. She actually uses her French accent in that movie.
Oh, okay.
But no, it was an interesting movie, but it was still kind of a mess. I'm telling you, I find it shocking Disney allowed Tim Burton to make a movie that basically attacks Walt Disney. Basically, okay, it's fascinating to me. I think Burton's always had to be in his bonnet about Disney. Remember Edward Scissorhands with the whole Cinderella's castle thing in the background?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so let's see. That's it. We're going to keep an eye on the Disney situation. Disney thinks everything it puts out will turn to gold, and I think we're learning, well, maybe not. And I'm hoping other studios compete. I hope we get new studios rising up from the ashes of the ones that have been destroyed, like 20th Century Fox. Okay, but we'll see what happens in the future. Okay. Yeah. Next thing, we're just going to show a picture of this, okay? Y'all excited? Ghostbusters Afterlife ornament revealed. Remember we talked a few weeks ago about all the ornaments Hallmark was putting out?
And they had not yet released the images for the Ghostbusters one yet.
Yes, so I will do a share screen. Everybody excited for this? Oh, it's getting a little late. Okay, but that's okay. We're nearing the end anyway. Okay. Let me go ahead and do a share screen here. Share screen. The whole screen.
And nothing but the screen. There we go.
And okay, I hate it when this happens. It freaks me out. Okay, are you seeing my screen?
I am seeing your screen.
I'm going to make the image big, and I'm going to make it full screen so everyone can see it.
That.
By the way,
awesome.
if there are PDFs on the desktop of old Nintendo players guides that are now very expensive, I swear I did not download those illegally. Okay. Okay. Because the Final Fantasy III players guide goes for like $300. I'm not paying.
Yeah.
that.
So
Okay.
this is the new 2021 Ghostbusters Afterlife. I don't know what you call it. Commemorative.
Mini puffs.
Yep.
We got the
Yep.
mini puffs.
That looks really, really cool.
I'm liking the mini puffs.
I am too.
I'm
really
wanting
am.
to like, yes, and they're in hot cocoa. It looks like, right? Is that what I'm seeing
Yep.
here?
Yep.
And they're enjoying themselves. They're weird. They're like, what is that?
They're cannibalistic, is what they are, because you got the one on the right who's
Ew!
drinking the hot cocoa with the other two in it.
You gonna get this ornament, Troy? Maybe.
I
Thinking
might.
about it. Thinking
I
about it.
might.
You
Yeah.
probably want to see the movie first, just to be on the safe side. But yeah. Okay. Cool.
No, and I was saying this about Ghostbusters. They everything I've seen about this new movie I've liked so far. There has been not a single thing that has caused me any concern yet at all. So I know, right? That's got me holding my breath. It's like, okay, when is that other shoe going to drop?
Why
But
would they be making it if not to make a movie that the fans of the original
I
would
know.
like?
That's
Okay, at this
that's
point.
exactly what I'm saying too. You know.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, because they got a loud and clear message from Answer the Call. You know, they know what not to do. And basically what they need to do is they need to listen to Dan Aykroyd. You know? That's what they really need to do.
Yes, and both Dan Aykroyd was steamed after that movie came out.
Yes, he was. He was
Oh,
pissed. He's got some interviews online that are like, whoa. I mean, we thought the Jake Skywalker thing was toasty.
I think he didn't realize what was made until it came out. That's what I think happened. Okay, this is, I mean, I don't know how pop culture relative this is, but it is Netflix related.
Yeah.
So, Barack and Michelle Obama will
brought
help.
to you by the network that brought you Cuties.
Yes, Barack and Michelle Obama will help teach civic lessons to kids in new animated Netflix series, We the People. Yeah,
I guess
think
this is the
Cooper-
new woke era Schoolhouse Rock, right?
Yes, you know what? Next week's good old day Schoolhouse Rock, maybe. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, I'm with
But
you.
yeah, Schoolhouse Rock was the show back in the 80s and 70s, and you get little lessons. So some of those
Yeah.
lessons would be on how the government
Some
works.
serious, government's a three-ring circus. And now it's more of a circus than ever before.
Yes.
How a bill is made, the history. Oh, for crying out loud, we have a whole generation of people who can recite the preamble to the Constitution because
Of Schoolhouse Rock.
of Schoolhouse Rock. That's right.
But now it looks like we're getting another one of these types of series, but I'm a little worried this might turn out to be pure propaganda. I don't know.
I can guarantee you that's exactly what. I was not even joking when I said brought to you by the streaming service that brought you Cuties.
Just from the preview, former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama are ringing in the 4th of July with a new animation series for Netflix aimed at educating children on United States civics lessons. Okay.
I'll bet you
nothing
the
wrong
first
with
one
that
they
necessarily.
do, the first one they do is going to be on the 1619 project. You mark my friggin' words.
I'll be a little terrified if that is. We'll see.
I can guarantee you.
Preview had me a little worried, okay, but we'll see. We the People, the 10-episode series will feature 3-minute music videos covering a wider range of topics to enlighten. See, I don't like that word enlighten, okay? A new generation of young Americans about the power of the people, the streaming network wrote in a press release. The power of the people to support corporate oligarchs.
When
Sorry,
someone like that says enlighten, they mean indoctrinate.
That's what I'm wondering. The show is created by Doc McStuffin's writer, Chris Nee, who will executive produce alongside Michelle 57, Brock 59, their Higher Ground production company. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on this one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on. Do you have anything else to say about this?
Not at all. Nope.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure if we were going to cover this, but it is on Netflix, and we are going to be seeing it on the 4th of July. Civics lessons are fine. Just maybe it's going to be about voting for one particular party all the time for the rest of your life, no matter who the candidate is, I don't know if I'm on board with that, but we'll see. Okay. All right, and this one I did want to get to. This is
I
the good
laughed so hard at this.
This article?
This is how freaking bizarre our world has become.
No,
let me tell you.
I have a big problem with this. I used to work at a newspaper, so I'm going to give you behind the scenes stuff too.
Sure.
Okay, that I'm a little shocked at what's going on here. I think this is showing what kind of state newspapers are in.
Yeah.
Netflix has sparked some controversy over its ad campaign for the new streaming series Sweet Tooth, where the company has in effect taking over the front page of Gannett's USA Today newspaper with a giant ad for the series. Click on the link if you want to see it, okay? The giant ad is mocked up to make it look like it is a real edition of USA Today, one that is tied into the events of the Sweet Tooth series, which is based on the acclaimed Vertigo comic book series by Jeff Lemire, with a headline that reads, "Hybrid babies born across the U.S.," with a subheadline of, "World reacts to new generation of half-human, half-animal children with both awe and concern." The concern for media critics is that USA Today is putting its respectability on sale, you think? In the making of this ad, and as at first glance, it appears as though USA Today, a fairly well-respected newspaper, is suddenly trading in the sort of sensationalist reporting that you would see in some of the disreputable newspapers that you see while waiting in the checkout at the local supermarket.
It does. I'll tell you, as soon as you see that front page, that's the first thing you think of is World News Today or whatever that magazine was, the scandal rag with Bat Boy on the front.
Weekly World News.
Weekly World News. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. And it's like you see that and you're like, oh, for Pete's sake. And I guess some of the articles that I've read about this are that people actually believed it was real because it was the banner headline on USA Today, despite the fact that across the top it says paid advertisement,
Yeah.
But it does look really,
I'm sorry,
really bad.
You're not looking at that when you first pick it up. And maybe you look at it later when you're in denial and everybody has a good hearty chuckle, but that's not what you as a reader want to see.
Well, and it would have also been different if this had come out April 1st. Okay, that would have been another
That might have been the only time you could have done that.
Yeah.
And maybe gotten away with it. I'm sorry. I worked at a newspaper once, okay? And I was in charge of putting the online edition of the newspaper online, like getting it ready for like people to look at online, And I remember overhearing the editors, and they were talking about stories they had read recently that sounded like zombie attacks. Do you understand? Like somebody was like presumed dead and they had to come to life and bite somebody, you know what I mean? Like this happened in a hospital somewhere in Miami or something or whatever. So they were writing this article like, "Ooh, could there be a zombie outbreak about to happen?" They did something like that, something goofy like that on the front page. And oh man, they were giving a talking to the next day by the people in charge of the paper. Okay.
Right.
Don't do that. And to be fair, they were reporting on real events, but they were kind of shaping like, "Oh, what if this is kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing?" I mean, I don't know if I would have gone over that.
See,
but
that's the kind of thing.
They got angry. Okay?
That's the kind of thing I could see an anchor saying after giving an article. They read off the news, and then the other person goes, "Wow, gosh, it sounds like a Hollywood, horror movie."
Exactly. But with this, they were acting like, "Oh, could there be a?" But maybe that's not. I don't know. Basically, though, I don't know if the headline read "zombie outbreak" or I don't know. There was something in there that got the people higher ups angry. I don't think anybody got fired over that, but they were.
Well, this is just another example of why nobody. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Nobody has any faith in the mainstream media any longer. There is no hiding the fact that it is all a farcical joke. If you want any real news, you have to go to online sources. You really do.
Yeah.
The independents, the YouTubers, Epoch Times, stuff like that, if you want to get actual news.
Well, we learned recently about how certain narratives that the media was pushing last year about a certain president walking in front of a church
turned out to be absolutely bullshit, just like we were all saying.
Just like they said when the attorney general saw
now it's okay to say it was bullshit, but back then you were being fact checked off of socialist media.
I heard some guy saying, "Oh, this went against the narrative" or something. Stop stop trying to fit narratives and just go with the facts, okay?
Yeah, you're supposed to be the media. You're supposed to be the news, not the narrative. You are not supposed to be, the propaganda arm of the Democratic establishment. You are supposed to be the independent media representing the people of the United States, giving us the facts and just the facts.
Who you vote for in your spare time, fine, but you still have allegiance to the facts, the truth, not your truth.
There is no longer any kind of integrity. There is no longer any ability to be objective. Okay? I mean, there is no doubt when you come and you listen to this show, I tell you up front, I am being biased. I'm giving you my opinions. You don't like them. You're free to disagree with me. You're free to debate with me. Heck, even a Boomer and I debate sometimes and disagree.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're sharing a news article with you, and yes, we're editorializing on it, but we're still giving you the source. You go and read it and decide for yourself what you think.
Yeah, but I am also going to say this too. With this, the headline, we're just coming out of a fairly nasty pandemic, right?
Yep.
And people are afraid of effects that if they get this disease, what has them. They're afraid of maybe possible effects of vaccines that they're saying are safe. And then you have an article posted, hybrid babies being born. Yeah. Someone could read that and saying, what is this, the disease? This is that vaccine they're giving out.
Right.
And the point is,
that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
This is not the time to be playing these practical jokes.
To be effing around with this kind of stuff.
We're not in peacetime right now. People are on edge. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's this for? Sweet Tooth? Does anybody know that comic? Have you read it? I don't know.
I know of it, or I knew of it. I didn't actually know that they were making a film out of it or a show out of it.
Yeah, Netflix, I guess, is doing it.
But I
don't
know about it from the comic. I didn't get into it, but I've generally liked a lot of the stuff that came out of Vertigo, so it's probably pretty good. But maybe someone in the stream might have something to say about it who's actually read it.
Like if they want to do an insert ad with like Weekly World News or something of the kind, or if they had put this on Weekly World News as a cover, that might have been kind of funny.
But I'll tell you something else.
I mean, it's just
after having seen The Preacher and everything that I'm hearing about the Constantine film that they're working on, and The Endless or Dream or whatever, everything I'm hearing about these, I have zero faith that Sweet Tooth is. I may go to my comic book store and pick up the trades on that, but I will not be watching any shows that are coming out of Netflix about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just and this just struck me as kind of a boneheaded ad campaign. I mean, it gets people talking, but don't go this route. People are on edge right now.
Yeah, that is pretty stupid.
It's just, I mean, I've seen stuff like this before, like with housing ads, like, housing market in boom right now, and you'll see it added on the top of the paper. I don't like that either, but this is something where you could throw people into a panic. It's like the War of the Worlds thing. Yeah. Of course, even with War of the Worlds, they even did the disclaimer before that broadcast happened. It's just that people tuned in late for that. Okay, all right, that's what happened there. So it's. I don't know. Don't do this right now. Okay. And that's it. But people are wondering why nobody's buying newspapers anymore. Because I keep thinking people who are listening right now are saying people still read newspapers.
Exactly. Good point. Yeah, I mean, who's even paying attention to USA Today these days? Except maybe people, that spend a lot of time in hotels. Yeah. Do they still do that? Deliver the USA Today?
I haven't seen it last few hotels I've been at.
Okay.
I think they did back in the day. I haven't seen it lately, though. No, I mean, I've been at Disney hotels. I think the last hotel I was in was a Disney one.
Well, now Disney's going to start putting out their own piece of media for you to read.
Really?
I'm guessing they should, and try to convince you to buy Disney stock.
Chapek, the Chapek Sentinel or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
All right. Anyway, though, but and that's about it. Okay. I miss Weekly World News. Yes, I think we all do, Melissa. All right. I think that about does it, though. Do you have anything else to add?
Just read the USA Today. It's the same thing.
What do you mean?
She said funny. She misses Weekly World News. I said just read USA Today. It's the same thing.
I'm telling you, I don't know why they did this. Like, if they even done like a little fake insert of Weekly World and put it inside the paper, but you could tell it was at least an advertisement, I wouldn't care about that. Okay,
Right.
but putting it on the front page, someone wasn't thinking. Okay,
there was a lot of people that had to not be thinking. I mean, there was
but it's
editor in chief and a writer and the marketing department. Whole lot of people had to come together and switch their brains off.
Do you remember when Jay Leno used to do he did the funny headlines of newspapers around the country?
Yeah, I think so.
And it would be, someone would misspell a word, and it would be like this big funny goof they'd play on the air. You do realize that if your headline was mentioned on Jay Leno, you're fired from your job. Okay?
Yeah, probably. Well, what I would have wanted to see after this article, in USA Today, the follow-up article underneath it, Florida man becomes editor-in-chief of USA Today. Agent Boomer's from Florida, everybody. There's a double joke in there.
I live in the free state of Florida. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be living here, at least until hurricane season kicks in, which I guess it already has. So, okay, there's that.
I know. You guys are starting to make Florida look attractive. I used to hate Florida because we've had some really bad experiences there, but I'm starting to think, at least your governor's got some intelligence.
I voted for him because the other guy I knew would be a disaster, and of course that was proven correct when he was found, I think, with a prostitute naked and with vomit on the floor. And no, I'm serious.
Is he from Chicago originally?
No, that was like a year later when they found him that way, and it's like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
And then he's doing all right so far. So we'll see. I'm wishing him the best, and hopefully we can
free state of Florida.
Free state of Florida.
A lot of people have been referring to it that way.
And hopefully we're getting some more free states soon, but we'll see how the next couple years go by. Anyway,
well, keep in mind too, you've got a huge Cuban American community there. They've all fled.
They know
communist
the trouble.
Cuba, so they know.
They know, yeah. DeSantis is Italian descent, Troy.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
I'm kind of stumping for him to run for president in a couple.
We'll see. Years. I almost don't want to lose him as governor, though. You know what I'm saying? But
well, he could go on to bigger and better things, though. Maybe he can do for the country what he's done for your state.
There you go. Okay. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good night. I'm trying to think anything else we didn't mention. I think we got. They didn't have time to think. They were journalisming. Yeah, pretty much Horizon Talk.
They were journalisming. I like that. I like the way you put that. In fact, make sure you guys go over to Horizon Talker's channel, subscribe to him. He's got you see his artwork there in his little thumbnail.
Cool.
He's got some good stuff there. Wednesday night. Go over to
Soundtracks with Birdman. We are doing Beverly Hills. We are going to be watching the Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Yep.
With the great Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley, and it's gonna be the three of us: Troy, Daniel, and myself.
Yep.
Okay.
And
all right, cool.
Tuesday, Thursday got Wolfie. Thursday,
Wolf Commander Rambles, yep. And
Wednesday, Friday, Green Lion Girl and her game playthroughs. She's been doing a lot of Sims stuff, and I don't know, you either love it or you hate it. But I have
Sims
really
or Sim City or Sim City.
No, The Sims.
Okay.
You build the house, put the family in it, and then light them on fire.
I had a bunch of Sims games for my GameCube, but I never got that into them. And then I got the Urbz, URBZ.
Yeah,
I guess that was like the urban version of The Sims,
Yeah,
and it's like,
I saw that, and I steered clear of that. No, I'm in The Sims, and the thing about Sims that I like to do is I like to recreate, like Smallville, and put in the Kent farm with Clark and stuff, and down the road I'll put in, across the road I'll put in Lana and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Lana.
Especially because you can find the floor plans for these houses, so you can build them in The Sims. The best one, my favorite one, was the house from Charmed.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I loved. I've had all 4 versions of The Sims, and in each one I've recreated the Charmed house. That is an awesome house.
Cool.
Yep.
I'd like to do the Addams Family house. That'd be neat.
You know, I don't know why I haven't. I really should. That's a good point. I think
Be
I
a cool
will.
thing to show on Halloween time.
Exactly.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Had a good stream tonight, and we'll see y'all next week.
Wait,
Friday.
One more thing. Friday. Yes. So based on the shows that I've been doing and talking about fixing the Universal Monsters, fixing DC Universe, and just last week we talked about Star Trek. Got a request from somebody in the comments section, and I thought it was a great idea. I'm going to be doing a little bit of retrospective and talking about our hopes and fears for the future for Indiana Jones.
I think it's time.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Indiana Jones. We talk about young Indiana Jones on there too, a little bit too. Okay.
Absolutely. The thumbnail's up already, so you can see I definitely have young Indiana Jones in mind. So
cool.
That's it.
I'm trying to think. Yeah.
And then Saturday
Big
over
Al.
on Big Al, rewatch of that one with the mashed potatoes.
Close Encounters of the
Close
Third
Encounters
Kind.
of the Third Kind.
I
Thank
will
you.
be there, and I think Daniel's coming by for that one too, as well. Yeah.
And Netter will do the drawing for her for the Alita Battle Angel DVD. So make sure you get over to Netter's last rewatch and drop a comment if you want that DVD.
Drop a comment of I want Alita, so I know you want to be drawn.
Yeah, you got to at least.
I want
mention that
Alita.
You want Alita, exactly, because we do not stand by in the presence of evil, and we want a sequel. Damn it.
Yes, I'd also like to see Rosa Salazar in more things too, because I do like her. Period. Yeah.
Right.
Even when she did, I hate the short treks stuff, but I liked her in that uniform. I don't know what it was. Okay.
She was in Short Trek?
Yeah, she was in the one about the Tribbles, which was a bad short, but because she was the actor doing the cameo in that. But I liked her. Okay, never mind then. Don't worry about it then. Don't watch it anyway. Okay, enough of that. Y'all have a good night. Anything else left to say, Troy?
Nope. That's it.
Catch you
Kept
next
y'all
week.
long enough. Take care.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.